Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 173. We're back down in the basement to talk about another week from the world of wrestling. It's Friday night, doing another late night one because somebody's got to work tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
It's not me.
Somehow I don't have anything tomorrow. No basketball for your brother. No nothing, I don't think. Other than catching up on some schoolwork because
Wi-Fi.
what's been the excitement? So did I tell you? Apparently it looks like it was hacking.
How?
I don't know.
Like,
The entire school board for you had no Wi-Fi for yesterday and most of today, right?
yeah,
think it was?
for me it was fine, but
Yeah, for me it was not fun. I couldn't get anything done.
How? What?
I don't know. That's just what I've heard. So
How does
on the news, someone showed up. We were in Mike's garage, obviously watching
SmackDown hacker?
hockey, and one of the dads showed up and said he had just heard it on the news.
That's
Because that was
crazy.
sort of what we were speculating, right? A little bit,
Yeah.
like almost half jokingly seemed like it could have been. Apparently,
I don't even know how that.
that's what happened.
I don't even understand how that happens, but that's
So in
definitely
2023, a school pretty much shuts her down when there's no internet or any of the whatever the program is to take attendance and do grades and all that is none of it works. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's not really much of a backup kind of deal.
No, so nobody's got paper anymore. Well, you couldn't even print anything or do anything because everything's through online stuff now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need the internet for everything. So
Smart.
yeah, you were, and we're doing a bit late tonight because you were out sport balling. For longtime
That's true.
listeners, that
Actually,
will be
no ball.
no, but the sport part's there, which for longtime listeners might be surprising because you're at times anti-sport, but not all sports.
That's true.
So you found one you don't mind playing. And while you did that, I biked down. Yes, I biked, even though it's November in Southern Ontario, down the street to the garage I frequent, and I left before the
Watch hockey.
end of the Leaf game. They were winning when I left, but
I love that sport puck.
Sport puck ball. But I was honestly had my phone out with headphones plugged in, watching Impact as they were watching.
Which
hockey.
is what I always like to watch when I'm elsewhere.
They weren't insulted; they were tolerant, so that was nice.
I love Impact's what I always watch everywhere else.
Well, I mean, to be fair, because it's not ever that great, to second screen, it's probably the best option. Like, I don't want to do that with
'Cause who
Dynamite
cares?
because I enjoy it, right? I want to
Most
pay
of the time.
attention. Most of the time,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I was up to. Anything new with you?
No, as I say that, I always try to think, but
You haven't
Nothing
worked
ever
very
really
much
comes up.
lately. That hours
No,
have
that
been
was
cut
good.
back. Winter hours. You were saying
that's
that
okay.
in the world of produce, maybe there's seasonal peaks and valleys, I guess.
Yeah, but that's acceptable. Well, summer's a lot, especially this year. So
As long as you work enough hours to keep you in the lifestyle you enjoy.
as long as it keeps me afloat in my various hobbies and
trips to
that's
McDonald's
okay.
and Walmart.
Trips to McDonald's and Walmart, and then the occasional trip elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But we usually just save it up and then blow it all at once.
Any good finds at the local Walmart in terms of your figures or anything? Nothing good lately? Have you been?
I told you there was Sting,
That's right.
which
you
I immediately bought.
Immediately bought.
They
Sting.
actually had MJF, which was decent. It was like had a big rubber coat though, so I don't know. That's weird.
big
They
rubber
had there was also the Wardlow, which I already have, and also I think his figures are pretty nice, but as the more I see him on TV, the more or less likely I am to get another one.
Yeah.
Just because no.
Just because no.
Just
too much.
Wardlow's no, we don't like you, Wardlow.
No, we're not super loving him, but we'll get into that for sure when we talk Dynamite, which we'll do. There's no pay-per-views to preview or anything?
No, I'll probably do Full Gear.
Just a normal week?
Got
some Impact to talk about. Got some.
No, we'll probably Full Gear. We'll probably do Full Gear next week.
Obviously
making
NXT.
sure I got it.
Full Gear's next week preview.
I think next. Oh, cause what? Tomorrow's the 11th, so that
Correct.
means Full Gear will be
Remembrance
on.
Day here in Canada.
Full Gear will be on next Saturday, so we'll definitely preview. Yeah, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, we worked that out logically.
We did. We're
Very nice.
very, very smart people. It's very late at night, so who knows what's going to happen.
I am
here.
indeed intelligent.
You get more energetic when we record really late, and I get less, so it's an interesting dynamic.
It is. I'm a tenured veteran in this field.
You are in staying up really late. I am too, but you your energy stays high.
I don't
Usually.
know why either, just because you would think just doing it more would honestly have the reverse effect, but
Sometimes you
it's
start
I
out
think it's just
mellow and then you pick it up as we usually.
I usually teeter off towards the end though, because
Good.
then my energy gets spent.
Because it's not, you don't have to do as, that's when I'm doing the heavy lifting and you can relax.
Yeah, and then like it's like honestly at work, because I think it was when I was opening really early, when I had like the opening shifts, and you were like really tired, but then once I get like food, I mean, then I'm
Yep,
decent, and then I
it's
get
true.
going. I find even if you're tired, if you start doing crap, then you just get going, you're fine, and then
Yes.
this once you stop, then it starts to set in, and then you can't. It's harder to recover from that. I feel like
Yes.
that. I think that's the rut I get into usually in the latter stages.
I am a big don't sit down until I'm done everything.
Right,
Because
because
I'm not going
otherwise
to
you're
want to
gonna
get up.
sit down. Yeah, that's exactly what the motif is. Yeah.
Yes. So when I like help people move or do whatever and they're like, you want to take breaks? I'm like, nope, just keep going until we're done.
Yeah, I usually like when I started working, I used to like time out my breaks just to, like with a phone timer, just so that because you're supposed to take 15, so I would time it just to make sure I did 15. But now it's just like I let it hang a bit, because I'm just like it's hard to get back going. You know what I mean?
Starts drifting into
Oh,
17 minutes, 18 minutes.
at least 20.
Wow. Just do your job. Make sure you're doing your job.
Yeah,
Okay. We bantered. We bantered our butts off
just
for
you find something, you know.
6.5 minutes. We usually do. So let's get into talking about some actual wrestling. First segment, as always, is looking at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors.
I want
All right, ratings this week. It almost happened again. It was a very close race in the NXT AEW Monday, Tuesday night wars. I don't think that's accurate.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday,
sorry.
Tuesday. What are you?
I don't know. Days of the week
Who
are hard.
are you?
Time is a construct.
Days hard.
All right.
Time is a social construct.
That's correct. So episode of this week's episode of NXT, 794,000 viewers, up 17.8%. Pretty big jump. 0.26 in the key demographic.
16.8.
Up 30% in the key demo to 0.26.
That's more than 29.
It is more than 29. It's their 6th highest viewership of the year, 2nd highest demo rating since 2019. That's a meaningful one.
It is meaningful. And it's
4
also,
years instead of like 6 weeks, some of the comparisons
it's
they
also
pull
just
out.
higher than the 7th highest.
That's true. Dynamite, 804,000, so a 10,000 viewer win over NXT this week. Down for them 3.4 from the week before that. 0.27 in the key demographic, down 3.6. So honestly, that's holding pretty steady. That's a pretty small move. But, and we don't disagree with this, 4 of the least watched episodes of 2023 have come in the last 6 weeks. And I would say a couple.
Sorry, this is Dynamite.
Yeah, a couple of those have been my least favorite. So that sort of makes sense.
Logical.
Yeah, I don't. What did you find? We generally comment on the depth of news each week. I thought it was moderate.
I honestly, now looking at it, it's not that great.
I like my NWA stuff just because I don't know why it's fun for them to fail is strong, but
it is fun to watch them suck.
It is. What is it about?
I do enjoy because like I don't know.
So
I just don't like them.
That's my favorite news from the week.
Like it is. I do like that they suck.
I do too. It's weird.
They've never done anything to me. It's not even like.
Well, that's not true. I don't like the people they hire.
That's part of it. Yes,
I don't like the people they push.
That's the main thing. Well, EC3 and Tyrus, namely.
And when I get to this news, well, do you want me to just start with it?
Honestly, I guess
we're this far in now. So basically, it's that I think I mentioned it to you. The apparently NWA talent are growing frustrated with Billy Corgan, and so remember I told you I watched a bit of Sawayne or whatever it's called, their last NWA's last pay-per-view.
I thought it was Sam Hain. Is that?
I think it's. Anyways, whatever it was,
it's some weird.
I think it's Sawayne because it's a reference to like Halloween or the night before Halloween or Devil's Night. Anyways,
I don't know how to pronounce thing. I'm Ted Dybase.
The controversial spot I did not see in the part I watched. So I did see that like
I actually saw the clip of it.
Father James Mitchell is there partying and whatever and drinking while matches.
I think he might be affiliated with that faction. There's the one faction where one of them is Gags the Gimp. So just so you know,
they're clearly starting to push the envelope a bit, right? It seems so. He apparently did a spot where he did some cocaine. I'm sure simulated, whatever.
Commentaries they were trying to. I don't know. They were trying to handle it right. Like commentaries trying to talk like literally or whatever, and like it's something like, I think we're on pay-per-view or something like that.
And so, as we talked about a week or two ago, the CW network has picking up NWA, right? And I guess that's a fairly significant network. I don't really know because
They
we don't
had
get it, but
DC shows for a while.
okay, so it's not nothing, right? It's not like
I don't remember what I don't think they had the Arrowverse. Was that? Did they have the Arrowverse? I think they had the Arrowverse.
So apparently the CW network's been inundated with social media posts regarding this spot. And so apparently NXT just signed with CW
NXT
as
is
well.
getting picked up by the CW, and apparently they were interested in ROH last year. But
I saw that too. And this is saying that the talks with NXT and CW sped up after that incident on NWA's show.
So NWA basically just booted themselves out of a possible TV
Which is
deal.
kind of funny, right?
It is funny.
So getting back to sort of the headline that I didn't follow up on, the talent being frustrated, along with that stuff, some other reported frustrations. Apparently, he's unavailable between tapings to discuss
Yeah, 'cause
ideas.
he's got Smashing Pumpkins.
They found out what they're doing at tapings at as little as an hour beforehand, and a quote unquote test Corrigan is said to put loyalty test basically for the talent. I'm not sure what that would mean, but
I think some of it was like losing right away, or
and then several wrestlers under 25 are said that Corgan doesn't want them losing on other shows, including AEW. And then I started to read it, but like
which would probably prevent them from like some work, because like let's say you're a young person in NWA, you'd probably get like a jobber spot on AEW, right? But then
Right.
obviously that would be next if Corrigan's like, I don't want you losing, because that's literally what jobbing is.
Correct. And then EC3, of course, in his unbiased opinion, is like defending NWA and Corgan, not because, of course, he has a business deal with them as part their newest signing of his little thing to their territory,
And being
of
their
course
reigning
not.
champion.
Just unbiased. He just thinks like, oh no, a couple hours notice is totally fine. I memorize my stuff. It's great. I love it. Blah blah blah. Just I couldn't even. It was so wordy, like the just classic EC3. Like
he's got I noticed he's got these stupid arm tattoos now. It's
he
just like
just rambles on and on.
he's changed.
But anyway, so yeah, all of that made me laugh. Who knows if it's true? But we call this the segment news and rumors. So hey, if it's only a rumor, so be it.
Then
Sounds believable.
it's fine. I just saw something which I'll add on, is that SmackDown could be moved from Fridays when they switch TV deals, which that's fine because SmackDown switch. This is not Monday Night Raw. This is just SmackDown.
Did they have a night speculated to go to?
No, they've been on Tuesdays before. They've been on Thursdays before. They've been on Fridays before.
I'm pretty sure we've done this exact.
I'm pretty
thing
sure the only times things they haven't done is probably Monday and Wednesday. But then again, who's to say they haven't done that once or twice? I really don't care. It probably wouldn't be Tuesday just because now NXT exists there. I think because before it was Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT, which was a total assault on the senses.
It was too much.
Because that was 6, which became it was 6 and then became 7 hours, and then obviously SmackDown moved. Thankfully, I think Friday's the perfect spot for SmackDown because it kind of paces their stuff out throughout the week. But whatever. As long as Raw doesn't move, I don't really care.
Yeah,
Raw's the one that can't move. It's the law.
It's the law. So you pointed out, I know you saw this one too. Beloved Canadian icon quietly been removed from AEW's roster page.
Beloved and icon are used very
loosely
here.
Very, very.
But Canadian is accurate.
Bunny is gone. Apparently,
AKA
we got the classic mutually agreed to part ways, as always, right? Has wrestled only 3 times in the company. Should have made that trivia for you in 2023.
Year?
Yeah. Yep. Orbital Bone.
I swear to God, one of them had to be an eliminator because I remember at least a couple times she got a random eliminator or something.
Orbital bone injury suffered in February against Jamie Hayter. So how long until she shows up in TNA is my question to you.
Who cares?
I think she'll go back.
I bet maybe it was like a literal eliminator, like she lost the eliminator and then they just were like, you lost that. You're eliminated. Get out.
And it's a literal eliminator. Contract eliminated.
Exactly. That would be fun. They could do that, like if they ever did like a match where your job's on the line, they could call it a contract eliminator instead of
Remember how happy I was when somebody finally explained what eliminator meant? Because I was like, it's the dumbest.
And it makes sense.
And then it made sense. So good recovery by them. I only have 2 other news items. Oh, that's a lie. I have 3. Go ahead.
WWE is reportedly interested in signing Julia.
I did see that. I also heard a rumor
Strong
somewhere
women's
Saray
champion.
may be on her way back.
I also saw that, yeah.
Julia's cool. I've actually seen her wrestle a few times.
And then so you bring in her and
She's
Saray,
good.
and you put them in the Asuka.
Of course,
Io,
you have to
and
immediately
Kairi.
go. Who is?
I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. I'm just saying that's probably what they would do. They would probably be cool, and it would probably go very well. Except it's the exact thing I would expect them to do.
And if it were Vince still there, I would even go as far as to say he'd put Xia Li in there too, just because Asian, right? Like from a completely different country and culture.
That would be,
but
honestly,
to him,
1,000 times
whatever.
funnier because the rest of them are Japanese. That would be awesome. Or like
That'd be a Vince move.
And Wendy Chu is probably different. Throw Wendy Chu in there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
What do I have here? A match on the October 20th edition of Rampage, did you hear this, was pulled at the last minute because one wrestler refused to put the other over.
It wasn't Santana Ortiz, much to my
No, it
surprise.
was not. It was Grand Metalik and Commander were supposed to have a singles match on the show, but Meltzer reported that guess which one didn't want to lose.
Metalik.
Correct. And then they scrapped it from the show and then also added that obviously that's not helping Metalik standing backstage or with whoever management, I guess.
That's bizarre. I don't think he's
in any
exactly
position to.
Not even that. It's just I don't think he's exactly winning a lot whenever we see him. So
No, and maybe that's why he's like, listen,
but
I can't keep losing all the time.
Don't be dissing Commander.
But just looking at the positioning of both of those guys, it's pretty clear Commander's winning. I think. Like, I'm not surprised to hear that he's booked to beat Metalik.
I like Metalik in the CWC, but that was
he's
a while
fine
ago.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Diamond Mine are full-time Raw people.
Diamond Mine are full-time Raw? Oh, I did not know this. All three?
That's what I've heard, yeah. Yep.
Ivy now goes with, see, that's too early for her.
Yeah, they'll probably come to regret that, and we'll say 5 years down the line she's back.
Not affiliated with anyone, just themselves so far?
Probably.
Because they need a mouthpiece.
Well,
unless you just book them
Roddy's
as, like,
not there anymore.
Killers in the ring right away, you know what I mean? You can do that.
You need Roddy or
somebody.
Tyler Rust.
They can't act, man. They'll try. They'll try hard, but it's not good.
They might.
Try as they might.
Put them with the Alpha Academy.
That's too bad. Because just selfishly, because I won't see them anymore, and I like them.
Surprised Julius didn't leave sooner.
Good for them. Yes, I think he won't be long for not having a singles push.
Sucks because it's kind of a death sentence for Brutus.
I agree.
It's kind of like Aussie Open. Like, I think Aussie Open are fantastic, but as soon as Fletcher gets the Bret Hart push, we'll say, no, obviously not to that extent, but like that was Neidhart's death sentence, even though he was probably at the end of his road. But it's game over.
That's a good comparison.
Game over for Davis and
Fletcher.
Davis and Brutus. I think it's different from the Rockers because I think Jannetty could have been something.
Yes,
well, he had just didn't happen. But it's like
demons, aka drugs in wrestling.
Yeah, and I feel like with Neidhart, he was at the end of his road, and he just kind of that one's a little different. But like,
looking back, I don't know how good he was either.
But he just benefited from kind of being his brand. And then like with Davis, I think Davis is pretty good. He's a good big man, but he benefits a lot from, like, I think he's a really good tag team guy.
Because
I think Fletcher can clearly sustain himself by him. Like, he can perform in solo matches fantastically. So I think he'll survive. Julius can clearly survive because he's like a beast, and he's had a few singles matches because didn't he have the ambulance match with Damon Kemp?
Yeah, he did.
Right, so that was clearly like I think that's one of those kind of testing the waters kind of things because they could have done a tag match with Kemp and someone, right? They could have found a way.
They could have,
but they didn't obviously. But yeah, so I think it'll suck because I think the second Julius gets like Kurt Angle kind of treatment.
Bye-bye, Brutus.
Brutus is kind of screwed.
So Neidhart, and that's the thing, he was only 6'2". So they bill him as this like monster powerhouse, right? But he was like not big.
Bigger, like
just like powerful build for sure.
Yeah,
but like not, in the era
not huge. No, and especially
bigger
especially
dudes,
in that era for sure.
Yeah. So 2 people in WWE on concussion protocol. Did you hear this?
I don't think so.
Ricochet apparently landed on his head and neck attempting some sort of springboard Rana on Ivar. I hear Ivar's getting a singles push and he's having good matches.
He's got a few singles matches because Eric's injured right now.
I hear good things. Because Ivar's awesome, right? They're both awesome. Just they got typecast or pigeonholed or whatever it is. And the other is Fallon Henley, apparently in her match with Tiffany Stratton that I'll get to later. Alvarez.
Wait, didn't they not have a match?
That was last week.
Oh, they
She
had a match.
took her leg out on the ring post and whatnot. So Alvarez says he believes it's from the prettiest moonsault ever to finish the match, but who knows? So 2 concussions.
Well, that is certainly sad.
It is. I have one more.
Last one was, and I think this was evident on Dynamite, the Don Callis family Jericho Omega Squad street fight, we'll call it.
Is
is
would you say it's sponsored
by Sega?
No way, because it was really subtle this week on Dynamite. So how would you ever know?
I didn't notice the apron, but like once I did, I was like,
"Oh, it's the promo for me."
Well, no, that for
it was
sure.
ridiculous.
But the apron was white, which I knew was that was off already, but it was an ad.
Yeah.
It was the thing, but we'll get there.
Yep, we definitely will. My final one this was apparently happened last month, and I didn't know. I don't think we talked about it. I could be wrong. Who knows? Who knows what we say on here?
I don't listen to myself.
I do, but you definitely
but I just don't remember things I say. Because who cares?
Hammerstone asked for his release from MLW.
I think I did see that.
And apparently he's saying that since he made the request, communication has been sparse. He's not worked for the company in over 100 days. They've removed him from their active roster, removed him from all current marketing, edited him out of the intro, and he said he hasn't been contacted for any dates moving forward. So,
damn, what happened with him?
So why not? Why not release him? But
that implies there's some falling out there. That's weird. That
sounds like it, right?
That seems like Aldis with the NWA because he had a.
No offense to MLW, and I'm not even the biggest Hammerstone fan. He feels like he's bigger than MLW, like that he could do better, for lack of a better term.
Maybe he'll go
whatever.
to
MLW is not listening. They're listening.
Maybe he'll go to NWA.
Everyone who's anyone listens to us.
NWA loves us.
I do like Court Bauer, but MLW, I check it out every now and then.
I don't even know who Court Bauer is.
It's a long story. I used to do a podcast I really liked with John Pollock. Seems to have a good wrestling mind and seems like a decent dude, but
Court Bauer is fun to say.
It is fun to say. Okay, I got no more news. Neither do you. So let's get into our in-depth review from every week, and that is taking a look at this Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, you're up. Tell me about, well, I mean, I was there with you. I watched it, but you can still remind me. Because I don't do so good with the memory.
Brain don't work too good.
Not so much.
We start again with an MJF interview kicking us off. Once more. He was talking about getting pinned last week in the 8-man tag against Jay White. And he said that 3 seconds is all it takes and it won't happen again. He video calls Adam Cole and decides to put on the monitor for
this magically I'll just put it on the monitor. Boop, immediately.
Our viewing pleasure. And he's again recommending that he take Joe's offer to help him defend the ROH tag titles. I would also second this.
Do whatever
opinion.
Joe tells you. Basically, is a good rule.
Always accept an offer from Samoa Joe,
Joe, that's correct.
No matter the repercussions, just you want.
It's like The Office. If Michael Scott asks you if you want to, what is it?
No, it's Dwight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You just say absolutely, I do.
Yeah, just say that to Joe. Garcia and not Jazz walk up, and MJF asks him if he's getting the sports entertainer or the pro wrestler. Garcia says pro wrestler, so hooray!
Thank goodness, that's the right answer.
That's always the right answer. Roddy comes in the wheelchair with the Kingdom, and MJF quickly dismisses him, and because he's got to go have his match. Then Strong was complaining to Cole about how MJF's the devil and whatever. Cole hung up, kind of fed up with Strong still, and Strong says it's time to remind everyone who he is.
Yeah, I like the fact that it sounds like Roddy's going to move on and do something a little different, because I think it's time they do. Like, whatever this, remind everybody.
He needs to start wrestling.
Yeah, exactly, and get a little bit, do something different. And I liked MJF's interaction with Garcia, and I almost felt like MJF's, like, experimenting with all these different types of baby faces, because I feel like he does something else later. I can't remember. It'll come up in my notes. But, like, now he's doing the whole, like, I'm the veteran and, hey, kid, you know, you need to really bring it to face me. And who am I going trying to motivate his opponents? He's such a good guy now.
And that could be narcissistic.
He's like the wise veteran.
Like, yeah,
at like 25.
There, right.
Right. It's like,
I feel like there
adjacent
could be
still.
There could be some.
It's not too far
way about that, like, because it doesn't have to be taken seriously. Like he thinks he's at that level, right? Like
yes.
he's the one mentoring this newer guy, right?
But for now, it's coming across like he's a good guy. For now,
Obviously, yeah. There is a bit of that, yeah.
But
I think it works both
so I
ways.
liked it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a solid little thing. Again, it's becoming a regular thing with these pre-intro interviews. I don't mind them doing this. I don't mind MJF being an interview segment, doing the things we got here, because I thought this was all solid work from him. I just like it to be changed up. So if they want to do like this little segment before the Dynamite intro, that's fine. But I'd like it to be changed up here and there, because we had one of these, like that interaction with Omega, Jericho, and Edge. That was a pre-intro thing, so I wouldn't mind that. And then MJF's interview can be someone else in the show. I get MJF's in the opener this week, so they had to put it here. But like, just as a general thing, MJF's interviews could be somewhere else if it's not directly correlating to the opener, right?
And this one was so similar to last week that for the first little bit, I was like, is this week's, or was
right,
this?
with,
It was
with
almost
that
like
Cole bit, right?
it was almost identical
Until
to last
Garcia
week.
comes in, right? So yeah, I wish they would shake up the formula a little. I like what MJF said though. The Daddy Magic impression he did was really funny.
It was funny.
That was pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was.
Nice to see Cole and Roddy as well. That was all solid. And then we're rolling in after the intro to MJF versus Dan Garcia for the AEW World Championship in another title match without the belt.
Right.
Just a funny little thing. I'm fine with that. Jay White's awesome, but
yeah, it's working for him.
I'm just saying.
Again, he's making a trope that we don't love, work for him.
MJF offers a handshake and sportsmanship. Garcia slaps it away and goes to do his dance, but MJF pokes him in the eyes. And what I thought was a cool little sequence, Garcia hits double knees in the corner fall, but like he gets him in position for a suplex, then does a roll through into a brainbuster for two. That was kind of cool.
It was.
I'm not sure how necessary that was, but it was just like a nice fluid motion.
It looks nice.
It felt like something Swerve would do, honestly.
Yep.
And that's a compliment.
It is. One of the highest compliments.
Yeah. Overhand chop and a nice Saito suplex from Garcia for two. Or not for two, sorry. Butterfly shoulder breaker and a super kick from MJF.
I like the shoulder breaker.
Yeah.
Although it kind of begs the question, why not just drop him on his head? But
because armbar?
Because you got him there, But anyways, it looks cool.
Hammerlock cradle DDT from MJF for two, which looks awesome.
It does. It's like a rampage.
It's Soraya's finisher, but doing it better because we don't like Soraya.
Correct.
And because it just
does look good.
It looks awesome. Garcia sticks MJF with the pile driver for a near fall. Then he locks MJF in the Dragon Tamer, but the finish comes when MJF's able to counter out because Garcia likes to lean way back in that, and he gets Garcia into the Salt of the Earth. And after he had some arm targeting during the match, and he submits Garcia for the win. And then post-match, there was the handshake offering. Garcia was going to accept it, but 2.0 stop him and they leave. So
yes,
that's the whole thing now.
The first couple of minutes of this I thought were kind of slow, and it was they're really leaning into the story of MJF's trying to get the best out of Garcia and fire him up, right, and get him to. And then I think once Garcia did get fired up there, somewhere near the middle, things picked up quite a bit. So by the end, I thought it was a good match. Obviously, would have been helped if there was any chance of Garcia winning, and that kind of affects the main event this week too.
Yeah.
Just there's no universe where one guy's winning, and that's never the best option for a match. But
of course, but that's not always a deal breaker.
No, not at all. And I'd be happy if this leads to Garcia breaking away from the mid-card comedy people and sort of doing the actual wrestler thing, because he's really good.
Yeah,
if they let him go.
My thing with that was, I think this would actually be, now this is weird, but it would be more interesting if they were still Jazz.
Ooh,
this would
careful.
be better with Jericho.
What are you talking
because now it's why is Garcia even still bothering with them? If they're annoying
I
him,
know.
why is he still affiliated with them? Their whole thing was they split from Jericho, and I get they could still team together, but why?
Why does Matt Menard have any power over
Exactly.
Garcia?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Garcia is a great pro wrestler, and he clearly almost wanted to be with that Danielson feud last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, why the hell this whole Daddy Says No thing? That's funny, but
and
does that?
They never. And when Jazz existed, now you got me thinking about this too. When Jazz,
they weren't in the hierarchy.
They never right. Exactly.
Guevara and Garcia.
They never established a pecking
over
order
2.0.
of 2.0. Yeah, that's
no,
what
that
I'm
was
saying.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so if Jericho's the one holding him back, that made more sense because that's been a previous thing. So if we had this thing where
you're right, I didn't think about it, but yeah, why do they get any sort of control here?
And furthermore, if they're so about sports entertainment, which I guess maybe they're not now, but why wouldn't they like the dancing thing? Then it's pretty sports entertainment now.
It's the most sports that is also an excellent point.
Is it that they want to be more serious and get on track? Because then that makes sense. But
fine,
even still,
but that's not what they've been telling us.
Why do they have power over him? Like, if it's Jericho stopping, that makes sense because he's the leader
And
and
there's some
like
lingering whatever.
right. And but then Jericho would want him to be sports from him. Anyways, I'm just saying it makes more sense if he's rebelling against Jericho
Yes.
because then that because it's his group. But why did 2.0 don't have power over anybody?
No.
Like, why
They
is
shouldn't.
that? It doesn't make sense. And another benefit of Jericho being involved with Garcia here is he wouldn't be fighting Callis and bringing Paul White to TV. So
That would
there's that.
also be.
I would much rather see Jazz do something stupid than
Didn't have to
Paul
remind
White
me of
come
that
here.
or so early on. I was
I
blissfully
just
forgotten, even though we just watched
came
it
into my own
yesterday.
brain. Then we get a quick promo package from Mark Briscoe. He talks about him and White having faced off in tag matches many times. This is their first one-on-one meeting. He reminisces about White coming up in pro wrestling. He tells White to put his towel on the line and he'll whoop his ass. I thought it was solid. Not the biggest Mark Briscoe fan, but with Jay gone, I don't mind seeing him every now and then. Just it's a nice
I think his promo style is really unique.
I think
right?
I do like that it's unique, yeah, because a lot of it's hard to catch the way he talks, but he's got like
I
a bit
kinda
of an
dig it.
entertaining way about him. Like, it's somewhat charming, right? I'm not never the hugest fan, but
Yeah.
like, I think there's like I got time for him every now and then.
Yep,
It
I
also
enjoy him.
more so when he's away from that storyline with the Jarrett faction.
Well, yeah, of
Now
course.
we don't like that. Now I'm less likely to dislike what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why he qualifies to fight for Jay's title shot because all
Mm,
he did was come back from injury and beat up Kip Sabian for no reason, which that's not cool because Kip Sabian didn't do nothing to him.
But it is kind
whatever.
of a mystery
It
as
is
to
what it
why
is.
you get shoot to the top of the rankings like
I
that. But
just realized I wrote Jay's title shot. I would like to clarify the Jay who's alive. I
Right.
meant Jay White, not Jay Briscoe, just to clarify.
that's correct. Yeah, I like his promo style. I find him entertaining. He's at this point he's just really comfortable, right? He's been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And nobody really sounds like him. And again, obviously he can't win this match.
Yeah, but he's perfectly serviceable. But he's like
I
good
like the
enough in the
promo.
ring, good enough
Yep,
on the mic.
Exactly.
I don't mind seeing him every now and then. I would like him
Adds
to.
depth to your roster.
I'm saying
somebody's
with the
got
whole
to.
Samoa Joe thing, you could maybe give Briscoe the run because I don't need him to be on AEW all the time, right? But like if he's ROH TV champ, then he could be here every now and then, but mostly be on ROH. Like I think that's probably better for him.
Apparently that's being addressed next week.
I'm saying you give it to Mark Briscoe. I mean,
Tony Khan will have a major announcement.
probably,
as he tends to do.
hmm And I always get excited every time, but then like it's a very hit or miss because sometimes it's like kayfabe related or like not kayfabe related, but like something like inch. But then sometimes it's like all in tickets,
Yeah, exactly.
which would be exciting
the
if I was
problem.
going. But I know at least as far as now, it doesn't apply to me whatsoever.
Like if you think you're trying to get people to tune into your show and that's what you give them when they tune in is you can buy tickets for like that's not a major
But sometimes it's
There's
like
no world where that's a major announcement.
one. I don't know what's a good one. Maybe buying ROH. I don't know. No. Okay.
Like
Wait.
announcing that Forbidden Door is happening.
Here's the thing.
Like
Yeah,
the first
that
one. That's a big deal.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. So you're gonna announce tickets for All In, but this year all we got was a measly press release for a whole Canadian tour.
Right.
I got ripped off.
Right.
I would love to see a major announcement on TV of like, hey, Forbidden Door's coming to Toronto, and you get a Mega Osprey.
It's not major.
Where
it
was
doesn't
my
affect
announcement,
US.
Tony?
Not major.
Where was my announcement?
He's here.
Tony
He's listening.
Tonic.
He hears you. He'll make it up to us.
Outrageous. Next we get Darby Allin and Sting versus the Outrunners.
What did you think of the Outrunners? Like just
Listen,
visually.
It's 80s.
I've seen them a few times on the indies
It's a little amusing.
or somewhere. They're kind of they're throwbacks for sure. That's the whole thing. Is
their names are ridiculous.
They're taking what like the Guns are sticking their toe in and they're like dove into the deep end, right? Like they're going full retro, mustaches, mullets, the whole
the
deal.
names, I forget what their names.
Yeah,
one
everything.
of them's like Turboflex or something.
Yeah, because Outrun, I was telling you, was a video game in I'm gonna nail down the year, but 80s. Anyways, tell us about the match.
Shivani was saying this is the first time Sting's wrestled in Portland since 1989. Not a flex, Shivani. That's
correct.
That just pissed me off.
Yeah,
Cause like, and then
86 was the original.
The other thing I wrote that I thought was funny was, so AEW heard us not loving Dynamite as much the past couple of weeks, and they said, "Oh, here, have a Sting match."
Thank you so much.
Like, thanks. So Sting gets a hot tag, which is also just what I wanted.
That's
Sting no soul tag offense that takes up both outrunners with basic shots followed by opposing coffin. Stinger splashes in the corners. Yeah, so like it was they attacked from behind and we were like, oh, he actually sold it. Then they did a double back
Then
element for
immediately
Sting to
not.
immediately no sell, and I was like, oh, there it is.
And for indie dudes, the outrunners aren't small. Like they're good sized lads, and they're no selling.
I don't care who it is. If it's a tag team, don't be no selling crap, man. Like it's ridiculous. Come
No
on.
selling to a 64-year-old or whatever he is.
It's dumb. It's like when he got up from a table spot from 2.0. Like, I don't care who it is. You're going through a table.
I
Stay
think
down.
that one because he wasn't supposed to hit it, take it. He was supposed.
No, that
to
was the
move.
one with
Or was
Guevara.
that
That was
oh,
with
that was
Guevara. That was
oh,
way
that's
more
right.
recent. That was
Yeah,
way more recent. No, but so Sting went to the Scorpion Deathlock. He takes as long as he can to lock it in, and I've labeled this. I said to you, it's the STF of
It is.
sharpshooters because it looks horrible. It doesn't look effective
The
whatsoever.
Cena FTF?
But they have the Cena. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's the
Yeah.
Cena STF of. It's what is it? It's
Or rock
Cena's STF.
sharpshooter's not exactly good.
Yeah,
either.
but Sting's worse. Sting's definitely worse. It is to sharpshooters what Cena's STF is to crossfaces. That's what I meant to say.
There you go.
The
I
only
knew what you
thing,
meant.
yeah, there we go. We got it. The only thing I have to say, is Revolution can't come soon enough, and that's rather mean,
sure.
but that's okay.
It's honest.
It is.
Is Darby Allin still hurt? Did he do anything in this? Right?
Oh yeah.
I don't think he did any.
No, that I honestly wouldn't have noticed.
So, anyways, so that means it was pretty much all Sting. I actually was more entertained by the Outrunners in this than I was anything else, because they're kind of fun. So this match was nothing. I don't know, didn't do anything other than put Sting on TV, I guess. Like, and the Outrunners got on. I'm happiest for them. They got on major network
When
television.
you say the only thing this match did was put Sting on TV, that's not a ringing endorsement for me.
No, it's not meant to be at all. No, that's what it did though.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so I remember seeing like a few days ago that Sting's on this and Collision this week, like
Sweet.
that twice in.
Well, you know the Goodbye Tour is going to be like super oversaturated with Sting.
Japan style, you know.
Mhm.
Next we get Shida Storm sit down with Shivani and kind of a contract signing, which was weird because I didn't know it was.
And because Tony Storm's there, the whole segment's in black and white, which I
Mhm.
thought was a choice.
That was interesting. Apparently, it was at her request, I guess.
That's
And
funny.
Shida wondered what happened to Storm, because she's all weird now, and she's ranting about how Shida happened, like she's always in the way to stop Storm or whatever. She took her title from her, then she didn't win it back at all and whatever, blah blah blah. Storm signed it. Shida signed it. Shida's gonna beat Storm full gear. Storm said chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Shida hit the shoe out of her hand, considered the shoe watched for.
Yeah, I think they were trying to give Tony Storm some like reason for this. So it was basically that she wanted to be the first 3-time champion, something, and then 3-time champion. And what was it? The line she said, since she couldn't make history, she decided to become history.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this is what made her snap and think she's like a 50s movie star or whatever it is. So I don't know. I kind of found this was entertaining and preferred it to the picture-in-picture movies that I can't pay attention to because it's too small and it doesn't work for me. Do you think Storm could win this?
She could.
I do think so.
I don't know.
Which I don't. It's not even that I don't like Tony Storm or what she's doing, because I do, but we've talked about this. Like, this can't be Shida's legacy, man. She's better than this.
I honestly like, Storm could win it, but
she could, because she's the hottest thing in the women's division.
But I really think Shida arguably needs this win. And I stand by the thing that I think a loss does not hurt the Storm character because
she
she's
can
already
spiral further.
Exactly, because she's already insane, so she can just spiral more, and it would be fine. So I think Shida needs to win more because they're just gonna keep damaging her to keep giving her these crummy little runs that mean nothing.
I agree.
Which again, it's only the second time that she's had a run aside from her original one, but 2 times is too many.
At least she got to speak a bit here, but we still didn't learn anything about it.
Yeah, it was okay, but it did really have to be so short. Like I was hoping something like this would maybe be an opportunity to give us something on Shida, but there was really nothing here on her. At most, we got that she hasn't been beaten this year. That's not really useful.
No.
Considering
we know.
We could say the same about Mark Briscoe and Jay White later on in the show.
Yeah.
And that's not really information on anyone. I did kind of like Storm here. I'm just still not sure how sold I am on this because like it's just really weird. It's not like it's not weird in an endearing way. It's not weird in like an incredibly off-putting way. It's just super strange, and I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just like
But
it's interesting,
it holds your attention because it
somewhat,
is so different.
somewhat.
And I think she's committed to it. So anytime a person really commits to
I
something
do like the commitment.
strange, I'm okay to watch it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they're trying something at least.
Right.
This can go either way, I guess, but not in an overly interesting way.
No.
No.
I don't know. It might. I'm still.
Yeah, but not in a way where I'm like I'm super excited to see like it's not like the Hangman Swerve match we had before where like that could go either way,
Hmm.
or like Saber Danielson or something like that.
Yeah.
Recently, where it can go either way, and that's the captivating part. It's like this could go either way, and I'm like, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Next we get Swerve Strickland versus Penta. Another Swerve match I'd very much like to see off the back of Danielson and Hangman.
Yeah.
So this is nice. Penta's got a black and orange look. It's just another fantastic look for him. It's a really simple one.
If we
this
did
time.
a best ring attire, he'd probably.
Honestly, maybe I'll do that.
He would
Just
love
that'll
that.
be one of my honorary awards.
That would be
just
your
like,
specialty.
Penta has consistently some of the best ring
I could
gear.
see you doing ring gear, entrance gear.
Because Penta's crazy. Like my favorite look is definitely the Joker Penta. I think that's by far his best one. But I think he had
hung on to that one for a long time. I like when he freshens it up.
I do like when he freshens it up. I think that one's the best one. And they still haven't made a figure of it. So when they make a figure of that, I will get two of that and I'll put one on the shelf because I think Joker Penta is one of my obsessions. I need
spot of honor on the shelf.
There's two things I need in life. It's a Thanos Rollins and a Joker Penta.
Got
I think he did a all gold one once, which was really nice. I remember he recently wore all white, which that's
Can't
just
go wrong.
That's an automatic ticket to success. Like all white is
Jack's money.
Fantastic. Hey, we know it works. Rollins has done all white.
It's one
Young
of the
Bucks
first
have done
gears
that.
I actually cared about that I thought
Rollins,
that looks cool.
yeah, Rollins looks
The white
amazing.
with
The
gold
Messiah
trim.
one, but particularly the SummerSlam 15 one, and then this black. Oh, the all red. We really like the all red. The all red's really nice. When you do like just the color and color, but this one's just like black with the orange trim. It's really
Looks
nice.
great.
I was saying like it'd be interesting if we did like pumpkin paint for his face because he's never really changes the color of his face paint, which I think is interesting. Which I don't think he needs to.
No,
I'm just saying that would have been cool. Anyways, enough about ring gears. That
was my fault. I think I led you astray there.
A little bit. Penta looks too snazzy, you know.
He looks great.
He can't miss. I like when he in early AW when they were heels, he had like the black hair and he had like the white kind of Venom looking eye on the one side. It was like that mesh that covered his eye, but he could probably still see through it, so it's cool. Maybe he can bring that back when we do an eye for an eye match or something.
Extraction.
Extract your opponent's eye with the corner of the steps. That's how that works. I'm pretty sure they showed an actual eye in that match.
That was the rumor that they like had a prosthetic eye drop on the floor or something.
I'm pretty sure I saw them. Like,
I don't
was
remember.
puking or whatever. That was Rollins did puke. There was that, man.
That's right.
The fact that that's probably the highlight of the Messiah run is sad because the Messiah gimmick could have had potential.
Yeah, I guess it was more obnoxious than I think it was supposed to be.
Well,
I think it was grading in the wrong way. I don't know.
It was partially because that faction failed because AOP got injured and released for the millionth time.
Yeah, where are they?
Weren't
they
don't
rumored
think
to be
they,
back?
They apparently they've been secretly signed, but I don't think so.
Secretly signed.
Who?
Not
why would
very
you secretly
secret.
sign
Reported
AOP?
everywhere, not very secret.
And then Theory was in his faction for like 5 minutes.
Right.
And honestly, Murphy was only in one, and then Murphy turned babyface, kissed Rey Mysterio's daughter, and then left.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Thunderdome era.
Brilliant.
Thunderdome. What do you like? Anywho, back to the thing I'm supposed to talk about. Penta did that float over backstabber, which he always does, which is really nice. Swerve vaults over the ropes, lands on his feet, but takes a super kick from Penta. Pair of sling blades, and Penta hits that new driver he's got, which is kind of like, it's basically, I think it's just a spinning deathlight driver, but it looks really cool the way he does it.
Looks cool.
It's really nice. That got a 2 count. Penta springboards out to the apron into a destroyer on the apron, which is really clean. Swerve kicks up Penta's leg, so he's basically like hanging off the apron with his feet hooked on the ropes. Then Swerve kind of slingshots out with a double foot stomp.
But he did it quickly enough that he doesn't look dumb for sitting there, and you know what I mean? Swerve.
Well, that one I feel like it's like
it happened quick, so Swerve.
It would be harder to unhook your feet.
It would.
I don't know.
I liked it.
I don't know. There's a couple reasons why that one works better. Penta does the arm breaker, followed by the Made in Japan for 2. Swerve is a deathfly driver, and then does his arm snap where he uses his foot to snap Penta's arm, which I could see you can see the leg slap, but I think that's one where the sound just
It
makes that
does.
because
It really
I
does.
just need that to like have the
Yep. I
believability.
have no problem with that.
Even though it's like you could argue the leg slap's less believable, but the sound makes it more believable that his arm snapping.
And it
It's
gets the
stupid, but
crowd
like
too every
right, because
time.
that like hearing it, you need like what you're
Correct.
hearing, what you're seeing to match what you're hearing,
Correct.
like
It helps big
or
time.
whatever. Right? Yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably the whole logic behind leg slaps on kicks, anyways. But just especially here, it helps because the theory is you're snapping the arm, right?
Yep.
Then a swerve stomp from Swerve seals the win. Swerve tries taking Penta's mask because nobody can just leave Penta's mask on. I swear to God, it's like happened in the past few years.
It
It's
would
happened
be
at
cool to
least 7
have.
times. That's true. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. If I was gonna take someone's mask, it would
It's a
probably be
compliment.
Penta's mask.
Right.
That's probably the one I would take. That's fair. Swerve tries taking Penta's mask. And Hangman comes with the chair. He chases Swerve up the ramp and attacks him with the chair. Then he takes us on some security and hits a dead eye off the stage through some conveniently placed tables. I
Yeah.
realized they might not make Joker Penta because of DC licensing.
And the spot
Wait, but Warner, never mind.
looked good, but it looked kind of like Hangman's feet hit the.
It wasn't a perfect dead eye, but
But it looked
it looked good enough.
ended up looking good. A couple lines from Taz in this. Remember, he said he would love to rip Tony's tongue right out of his face at one point.
Yeah, like
And then another one he had was clash of styles, but similar styles.
I kind of understood what he was saying.
It sounds ridiculous, but anyways, really good TV match. Both of these guys are good. Swerve is awesome and like being pushed right now, so you knew what was gonna happen. Kind of felt like a random match a little bit, but for that being random, the intensity and like brutality were pretty high, like pretty physical stuff that looked good. Kind of odd that Hangman would patiently wait for the end of the match to attack in a violent rage,
I mean,
I guess.
I
But
guess he's exhausting. You can just beat him up easy.
the table spot to end I thought looked pretty good, and I thought this was a very enjoyable TV match.
Yeah, another solid TV match. I thought not a storyline reason for this one, but I liked. Like I said, it's on paper, it was very appealing. So,
It delivered, I thought.
it's one I'm happy to just randomly get. Commentary were saying how they're different but similar. In a weird way, I kind of think that's the case. Like, they both just got like that some sick unique offense, and they both just got their way about them. I think
And like
in the
high
ring.
impact stuff a lot.
High impact
too.
stuff, and I think just like we even said, like the way Penta moves sometimes, he's just like kind of got that way about him. You know, like the way when he walks around weird like that or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, and Swerve's got all those
They're
smooth
fluid.
transitions. They both just like in their own unique ways. They've got their own thing about them, and I think in that way they're similar, even though they're very different. That strike exchange bit was nice. I thought Penta got some solid near falls, like with the arm breaker and the Made in Japan. That spinning DVDs guy is pretty sweet. Swerve didn't disappoint. As always, we always talk about how great he is to watch in the ring. He's just smooth with everything. I expected win, but good match nonetheless. I like the post match too. I liked Hangman's Dead Center Revenge. It's like I like that nice change of pace from the vulnerable self he usually is. Like we eventually saw in the Moxley feud.
Yeah.
Like that it gets brought out of him eventually, right?
Exactly.
I like that after he took out Swerve off the stage, he just kept saying like, "You're a dead man." Like I like
He did really
he's-
sell the rage.
he definitely had that look in his eyes,
Yep.
and I think that was sold really well. Then we get an interview with Bullet Club Gold. Just if it was White talking about he's gonna always be better than MJF. He'll show how he's truly elite when he defeats Mark Briscoe later in the show to retain his title, obviously, the Bang Bang belt.
Yeah. So I thought that. Sorry, was that the? Who were you just talking about?
Bullet Club Gold.
Oh yeah, I liked. I thought it was a strong promo because again, like his style of dismissing everything important to MJF. This time it was like you're worried about numbers on a graph on the internet or social media or whatever, and he's just kind of like, I don't care, right? I think that's really amusing. Really, really good heel confidence without like going over the top into ridiculous. He's talented, man.
Love Jay White.
like him a
Love him lots. Simple, straightforward stuff, but always enjoyable. He's talking fast here for sure, but he gets his stuff across well. And like how he keeps talking about like ways MJF isn't what he calls an elite champion. I like that he was like what he still didn't get his belt back, and MJF didn't really again do much about it.
Right.
He was just talking about the Acclaimed. The only injustice here is that Juice didn't speak. We love Juice.
He's fun.
He's a funny lad, and his theme song is a slapper.
It is. Told you.
On a side note, though, I was telling you I was thinking about this week earlier. I think Bullet Club Gold are in the running for my faction of the year, just currently between them and Blackpool, at least for AEW. Just because
Judgment
Bullet
Day,
Club Gold are on
the
just
Bloodline,
I guess Bloodline's fallen off. I don't think they deserve it anymore.
Chase University.
No,
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 won't even
just no.
dignify it with a response, eh?
No, but Bullet Club
How
Gold are
dare
just
you?
like
They're cool.
incredibly. They're cool.
I enjoy
They're
them.
enjoyable all around. I enjoy all of them, which I would not have said at the beginning of this year.
They're modern DX.
They
and
are.
I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, I mean they didn't even
Because
use
DX was cool for a while. They were also not as cool as people remember. Like, they've obviously revised history to make them like amazing all the way through, but
and they've also
they
just
weren't.
come back to diminishing returns. They
Yes,
had the
that is
2006 run,
for
which
sure.
2006 run, which was I don't know how well that went over, but I think it was decent still.
Yeah, I don't remember. Obviously,
because it was after the Reign of Terror, so it's kind of like Triple H was still. You could make the excuse for that, but then 2009 DX, there's like that's starting to push it, and then now every DX reunion, it's like why are they still, like Triple H is what DX was against, so now it's like
right.
why is DX even bother anymore?
They should not.
In theory, like it's just I don't even know. Triple H is a cool authority figure.
That's
He's
right.
cool like that, you know. Next we get a Chaos Omega, or sorry, should I say
This is the thing.
Kenny Osega.
Nice.
We got a promo package for their little fiasco next week. Chaos talking about this will not be one of the video games where you can do what you want. They're ready for serious violence next week. Omega said he's been beaten or broken before. A lot of video game footage. It's like a dragon street fight.
Yeah. I actually really liked the parts with the actual people in it, and I was kind of
the parts with the actual people.
I was kind of willing to forgive because it kind of felt like they cut promos and then they just like spliced this in. But then when Kenny like specifically acknowledges it and talks about it at the end, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, because then it's like, this is a blood feud and you've chosen to weave in like a video game
will
thing.
say they look less bad because they don't beat you over the head with it like WWE
But if the
does.
company just did it and like it was like these guys had a serious promo and we spliced in this stuff, fine. But like when they're actively shilling for it in the middle of their ultra intense blood
Yeah, no,
feud
I don't
promo,
like that, but
I was not a fan, because
I would rather play this game than
It
buy
could've been
Pizza
cool.
Hut's stupid dinner box.
Well, yeah, but
okay.
I still didn't enjoy this. I did and I didn't, I guess. To be fair.
And this is where that sponsorship comes in.
Yeah.
The game clips were confusing me at first, and then it hit me. Omega dubbed this the Like a Dragon Street Fight, which made me cringe a little. It's only saved because it's slightly less of a mouthful than the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Then I had an epiphany. Actually, I take that back. Looking at the number of words and syllables, it's probably a tie. Although
No.
it feels more cumbersome to say Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
I think
Like a dragon.
I think the Mountain Dew is cringier
Mountain
because
Dew
it's such
Pitch Black match.
a well-known brand.
I
That
agree.
it
Yes.
sounds so clearly a lame sponsorship that it's just. But the video
Like a
game thing,
dragon,
I'd
it's
never
like-
heard of it in my life. So
It's true. I
can
think it is
dismiss it.
cringier, yes, but like I don't know, Mountain Dew Pitch Black just seems like more of a mouthful though, 'cause it's like Mountain Dew's the brand name, then you got Pitch Black was the drink, and then like I don't know. Well, because like Pitch Black match on its own sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
And sounds like something cool Bray Wyatt would probably do. But then you go Mountain Dew Pitch Black, and it's like that's stupid.
It's not my favorite.
Also,
None of them are.
It was basically a glow in the dark match. Like
It was. It was.
that's where LA Knight started the year. Let's
Yep.
remember. Just he might not have been Roman Reigns, but he started the year there. So
He's come a long way.
let's just remember that whenever if you're ever bummed at night, just think about how LA Knight didn't win, which I know you are. Just remember he started there.
That's right.
He started there. I liked Callis though. I like how he touts his crew as a family. His whole thing's cool, but video game, I'm okay.
Didn't fit.
I'm okay. I don't think Sega really does anything notable anymore.
How dare you? I've been playing NHL 96 lately. It is very fun.
That's
on my
recent.
Sega Genesis, because I am cutting edge.
Cutting
people.
edge.
Yep. My favorite system.
Next we get an Omega Jericho interview. Sorry. The Golden Jets.
That's correct.
And let's play a drinking game. How many times can we say Golden Jets in the same show? That's both talking about me and them. Jericho said they had some good friends in Ibushi and Paul White. Woo. I think
Yeah,
this was
hooray.
the segment where I started taking notes on it, and then I just lost control. So then I was
You
like,
gave
nope,
up.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because I remember writing the first few lines of this, and I was just like, no, I'm good. The Young Bucks walked in saying that this was a sweet promo. They complained about having no room in their locker room because of the Golden Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Matt mentioned Chris and Kenny had a cool new name, the Golden Jets.
Mm-hmm.
He remembers a cool name called the Elite. He talked about having Omega's back, while Jericho said that the Bucks didn't have his back against Powerhouse Hobbs. Ooh. He spoke about how Matt talked about how the Bucks and Omega started this company, and Jericho said it was the four of them that started AEW. And Matt said they started it. They started the revolution while Jericho waltzed in and cashed another big check. Jericho credited the Young Bucks for being a great tag team, but Jericho thinks that him and Omega, the Golden Jets, can beat them. Matt Jackson pitched a match for the Young Bucks to face the Golden Jets at Full Gear in the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. I remember that because for some reason I just keep seeing. Normally I don't remember, but just I feel like I've heard Kia Forum so many times. It's like
I do not, but
I specifically remember Jay White saying Kia Forum. So
I
yeah,
believe you.
it's between. It's not as much as Golden Jets, but still. Sorry, where is? Yeah, so Jericho asked them to put their title shot on the line if the Golden Jets win, which is good because they did
They
remember, but
acknowledged
we
it. I
were just
agree.
saying that last week.
I
They
made a note of
acknowledged the
that
title
too.
shot, so it does exist.
They did
so.
acknowledge it. Yep.
So that is good. Matt agreed to that, but if the Bucks win, which he says they will, then Omega Jericho, the Golden Jets, can't team together again. Omega said the Bucks are the greatest tag team of all time. He didn't want to fight them. He said he's beaten Young Bucks in the past, and he mentions Hangman and Bushi, specifically the Hangman one.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to watch that match the one day because the one day I really wanted to watch that match. I could not find it for the life of me.
You're bad
I
at
tried
this.
your site, and your site didn't even have it.
Wow.
Couldn't even get it. It's like, I don't know. Like, AEW needs a service with their library because I need to rewatch that match, damn it. The only thing I don't want to see is Hangman and Trunks again.
Reasonable.
I don't want to see that. Okay, we're almost done. Omega said if you really want to face them, then they'll do it, and maybe the Young Bucks will start acting like adults instead of whiny children. Omega left, and Jericho said he'll be happy to beat their spoiled asses, and he said he has his own dressing room, and then he smiles and leaves, which I thought that was actually kind of funny.
Who am I supposed to choose? Whose side am I on here? Right? I'm not sure. Who are the heels?
See, so
I feel like the Bucks, because they kind of are doing their like douchey
I do enjoy douchey Bucks.
diva Bucks, just because I think that's them.
I do enjoy.
I think
douchey
that's
Bucks.
just natural for them.
I do enjoy douchey Bucks.
So do I.
Especially Nick Jackson. Nick
But
Jackson's
then
funny.
Kenny's tone I wasn't exactly expecting either.
Well, I don't blame Kenny because I feel like it's like
No,
because he tried. I feel like Omega was trying to be all
he was.
which reminded me of the Hangman feud, but I feel like eventually his tone again was more like them at the end. But I feel like that was warranted at least.
And it's kind of like say what you will, but it's when you imply you're a better wrestler than me that's the line. Like he's like, no. Okay, I could sit here and take everything, but as soon as you say you can beat me, that's too far.
Right.
Like this is what I take more seriously than anything in the world, and now here's the
Yeah,
evidence.
exactly. So I think
right?
it's warranted. I think we're supposed to root for the Golden Jets because
I think so too.
They're fighting the Don Callis family, so you're definitely supposed to root for them.
But Jericho flips so often, I never know.
Well,
anymore.
Jericho definitely
like
is kind of dipping his toes in the heelish pool just because of the things he says to the Bucks.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to an extent because obviously he's not meant to like the Bucks, but I think you're supposed to root for the Golden Jets.
I do too.
I will say the Golden Jets,
which I prefer because Bucks as heels is better.
But I think the Bucks have a perfectly logical gripe that you could get behind too. Like I would agree with the Bucks.
They're not
honestly
super wrong.
I think you're supposed to agree with the Golden Jets, but I would definitely side with the Bucks here, personally speaking. Like, 'cause I think if I were them, I would definitely feel the same way. So I think the Bucks are probably in the right here, but then again, I'm not a big Jericho fan.
I like Kenny's line. I forget what he called them, and then the Bucks said, "Yeah, we've heard that a bunch before," and he said, "I think you needed to hear it from someone like me." Right? Because they're like, we've heard that from a bunch of people before, and he said something like,
"Oh, what was it?
You
I
needed to hear that from
too.
some. It was I like you're spoiled, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. I like that line.
I did like that.
I think, to be honest, like, they built a match in, like, what, 2 weeks, and it actually seems like there's some heat there, so and I appreciate the attempts to do something with the Bucks, because sometimes I think it's just, like, they're safe to just throw in matches and it's fun and
Because
whatever,
they are, but
and it's
I
true,
do like, yeah, and
but
I wouldn't mind them being heel again because Nick Jackson. Oh, I loved heel Nick Jackson. He's funny.
so I think that's where they're going with this, so I liked it overall,
Give him the handlebar.
and, again, like you said, they made a reference to and I think remember when they hired the podcaster I used to listen to, Will Washington, to be the continuity guy? So that would, I think, be his job, being like, "Hey, hey, you guys haven't made reference to the Bucks's tag shot."
Buxes.
Yeah, the Bucks's tag
The-
shot.
Mhm.
And so then they explain that.
Buxes.
But anyways, I like this.
I do like it, but for me I also don't like it because I feel like they're almost going for a similar thing with the Hangman
They certainly
Omega
are
thing,
recycling
and
it,
I don't.
no doubt.
That particularly bothers me because that was so fantastic that it's like you can't
And it's Elite
I
on the
can't
same page,
take.
Elite not on the same page. Elite, they can't do that
Yeah,
often.
so part of this for me is that I wish I would like the Elite on the same page again, just because like I thought that was a really great story of them all coming together against Blackpool. I thought that was probably one of my favorite stories and feuds of the year.
Right.
And then now it's just that's kind of going to waste, and also just because I think the Hangman Omega Bucks match feud storyline is on an entirely different plane. That just for this to draw comparisons to that for me,
It-
definitely rubs me the wrong way, which might be my own fault just for making that comparison, and maybe that's not the intention
Yeah.
or the thing they're going for, but it definitely feels very much like that for me just
Mhm.
because I don't know, and I don't like that just because that was way better. It just feels like, and especially because it's Jericho, like
I know that's the only part I'm
that's
not
the part there's
a
the
huge fan
disconnect
of.
for me. I'm just like, not only are you trying to do Omega Hangman Bucks light, but it's Jericho.
Agree.
So no thanks. The first thing wrote in my notes was, why is this Golden Jets thing going on so long? I think this is fine as an alliance to fight Don Callis, but it's feels like it's extending itself a little too far. Like
What a
I don't
surprise! A Jericho angle being
I don't
dragged out
need
too long.
them teaming against the Bucks going for a title shot.
No.
Like when Jericho said he was going to go for the tag titles with Guevara, that was already pushing it for me. But honestly, if I had to pick between him and going for tag titles with Guevara or Kenny, I would pick Guevara because at least Guevara is like a fresher talent and someone that Jericho actually like has been teamed with for a while. Like Omega is historically a great rival of his.
And leave Omega as a singles. That's
Yes,
where he is like the
Omega's-
best in the world.
I think his tag title with Hangman was perfect, but I don't think you need to
he
do
is
that
a single star.
He's a single star. I think the story here makes sense, but it's nowhere near the thing I was talking about. It just doesn't help that I don't that I want the Golden Jets to disband, which is again not intended. Like that's part of the thing that makes me side with the
You're
Bucks.
not
that
rooting for
I
them.
will gladly take Jericho and Omega disbanding. I really hope they don't get the title shot, even though it feels like they'll win this, which kind of sucks. And then the real kicker is
Yeah,
to
it's
me,
possible.
if they face Bill and Starks for the tag titles, you really think they would beat Jericho and Omega?
So Bill and Starks are heels, so that definitely makes it feel like Omega is.
Right, and my hopes for Starks and Big Bill
Well,
beating
they dispatched of FTR pretty fast, so
that's true.
right. That's
I
their
guess.
thing.
But like I don't think that's an indication of I don't know.
know.
I just don't see them beating them. Anyways, I also do not want a tag team for Jericho with Omega of all people. Like I said, again, Revolution 2020. This is not Hangman Omega. This is not. I hope the match delivers, but please have the Bucks win for the love of God. But all this aside, I thought the Bucks were pretty good. Actually, I like the way they're acting. I do enjoy them as heels because, like I said, like heel Elite was awesome. Honestly, I would run that back sometime just because douchey Elite was
Yep,
awesome.
they're good.
I absolutely love that. Jericho's solid too. I actually don't, as much as I don't love him being here, the work he's turning in here is actually solid. So I'll give him that. Next we get Haas fight, which is Samoa Joe versus Keith Lee for the ROH World Television Championship. Some might even say meat.
And like honestly, the sheer size of these two guys is almost a spectacle in itself. And it's my favorite part. It's not about their height, right? Like I'm sure they're tall men, but not exceedingly. It's the literal thickness of these two guys, like, is crazy, and it's
They're
just
very, very girthy,
very, very broad fellow. So it's kind of cool
quite
to
broad,
see.
indeed. Keith Lee hits that big double-handed chop in the corner, and you can see the sweat fly off of Joe, which I thought was
Yeah.
kind of funny. Joe with this cool knee breaker kind of move, which looks like a gutbuster because he's got Lee over his shoulder, but I thought that looked nice.
Yep.
There's a strike exchange. Joe takes control of the Dragon Screw. Pop-up powerbomb from Lee. The finish came when he went for the big pain catastrophe, but Joe escapes, locks in the Kikina clutch for the win. Joe says he stands before you, the greatest ROH TV champion of all time. He says he didn't come here just to be the TV champion. He says hunger defines the greatest. And he says as of tonight, he's vacating the TV title because the next gold he's going to have is MJF's world title, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I like the match. Hard hitting, some impressive moves, like to guys who are really, really big fellows. So, and just like I said it, I think while we're watching, kind of a waste of Keith Lee signing him because they don't really have clearly
He's
any
one of the guys that
plans
kind
for
of falls
him.
by the wayside.
And I'll say it about someone else later. I forget who. Oh, Gresham. Like, Keith Lee's just a unique talent. He's too unique a guy not to find a way to use, right? Quality win for Joe, which I'm happy about because he's awesome and I like the match. And I didn't expect him to vacate the title. It's not, while I do overall like it, it's definitely not a ringing endorsement of that title, right? Like, dudes are just vacating it.
I don't think
But-
that's a huge issue, though, because they haven't exactly done their best to make that title something.
No.
Even with Samoa Joe holding the belt. So I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Plus, it's like, I don't think it's necessarily a diss of that title because AEW World Title is a bigger prize either way.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily a huge diss of that title, and I really enjoy his motif behind it.
Me too. And a focused, hungry Joe could be amazing. But my concern is there any chance that it actually gets a payoff?
Probably not.
That's the problem,
don't think
right?
so.
Because I think I'm going to really enjoy the story because, like, Angry Joe's amazing, but I don't think there's any chance I get the payoff I want. But anyways, I hope they have a robust TV title tournament with cool people in it. Was hoping where they go with
Four-man
it.
tournament?
No. Like, I want, like, 16 and drag it out for months if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this was a solid match. Under-delivered a little in my opinion, but it was a solid hoss fight. I thought we got some pretty solid action and some cool stuff. I thought Lee was pretty good, but I wish I got to showcase more of what makes him great, considering we don't always get that. Like, some more athleticism. That's what we always like to see.
That's the unique part. Like, he's not just a powerhouse, right?
Right.
He does cool stuff too.
Exactly. And I thought the post-match was surprising, spoiler aside, because I saw it already, obviously. Joe has had the title for the longest time now. He's got the longest run. Feels like they haven't had anyone that's really had a chance of beating him for it. So I think that's another reason why it's okay for him to relinquish it, because it's not like it's otherwise who's going to take that from him, I guess, right? At least twice they've had number one contender tourneys and still nothing. One of them was 4 people, so I digress. I've seen mixed opinions on this decision. My friend wasn't personally a fan of it, but
I like
personally,
it.
I like it. I think, especially given the context with the promo he gave a month or so ago, where he talked about the greats having that hunger and how he had become content. I think for him, this makes a lot of sense, and from his perspective, I think it makes sense as something he feels he needs to do to get himself to the next level.
Yeah.
Not even as a disrespect to this title, just saying because there is another level that he's not at yet, and I think this totally makes sense to get him where he feels he deserves to be. I think there's also not much more for him to do in ROH. I feel like it's like he's kind of conquered all kind of thing. So again, I think it's just moving on for him, kind of like going up. And I think the TV title can hopefully benefit from someone else having it.
I think so.
Angelico.
They could use it to build somebody.
Angelico.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Justice for Angelico. Okay.
Yeah.
Justice for Angelico. And this also frees him up to be more of a presence on Dynamite Collision. Emphasis on Dynamite. Hopefully
yes,
he is
please.
more on. But yeah, I guess, I'm not sure about the payoff. I don't think he's going to get a title.
Me
run.
either.
Just because, like, he's at the end of his rope, kind of. I think this is still good, though. I don't mind it either way. I think this will be a nice run for him whatsoever. If he does get the title, I'm not going to complain.
I'll enjoy the ride, but I would enjoy it more.
I'm not going to complain if he doesn't get it, but I would much rather have Switchblade win it or something. Although, with Joe going on, I don't have high hopes for Switchblade, which sucks, but we can always revisit go back to the drawing board. Then we get a Cassidy Hook interview. Cassidy says Mox has lost his mind, saying Cassidy overlooked him. He says he's only thought about Mox after being left in a pool of his own blood and having his title taken from him. He said he didn't pick up the pieces of Phoenix. He picked up the pieces of the title Mox dropped. He says it doesn't feel the same since until he beats Mox. And he needs to beat him to be the champion he knows he is, and he will beat him at Full Gear.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy somehow has found a way because he's being serious and focused now,
Well,
and
because
it's
he's got something
somehow
to care about.
and it's still working. So it's like he can't be his carefree self until he avenges his loss to Moxley, right? And it's the Moxley's extreme violence sort of thing that has set him off. So it should be another awesome
Mhm.
match. And I thought this was really good. And it's not something, again, he's showing a bit of range, right? But still keeping the same character. So that's good
Range
work.
within the same
Right.
scope. I don't know.
Right. Like it's that this will be the outlier. Like it's going to take a lot to get him to this point, but you can get him to this point.
Mhm.
Normally he's his chill whatever self,
Mhm.
but you can get him to this point.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah. So I really enjoyed it as well. Mox can make a match feel important and personal with ease, but to his credit, I think Cassie's holding up his end of the bargain
He
here,
is.
making this feel like a big match and a big grudge. I like what he said. Even though he has the title, there's still like this creates still this it establishes the need for him to still beat Moxley with everything that happened in the first match and since. I like there's this personal reason for wanting to beat him, because Moxley beat the tar out of him last time
Mhm.
and took the title.
He did.
And it's also tied to the title, right? It's a title that clearly means everything to Cassie. And that's something Mox took from him. So I like that it's not only that Moxley took this title that means everything to him, but Moxley also dropped the ball with it to no fault of his own. But
Right.
nonetheless, that doesn't have to be a kayfabe thing, right? He took the title Cassidy worked so hard to keep, and then nothing became of it, right? And it became disarray until Cassidy got hold of it again. I really enjoy Moxley being kind of this obstacle for Cassidy to have another great run. Like
Mhm.
he could and probably will go on another great run, I feel like, and have all those matches we got last time, and it'll be something great. But I like that Mox is kind of this huge obstacle that he needs to overcome. And again, I feel like it's kind of a nice way of making it feel a little different from the first one, but also the same. I think this is a cool way to go about it. Again, super invested in the match between these two. If we didn't have a world title match this time, I would honestly give them the main event spot again, but it should be awesome.
It should.
Next we get the Guns, accompanied by Juice Robinson and Cardblade, against the Bollywood Boys.
I think it was only one Bollywood boy. I don't know if the other one did.
One of them got taken on the apron while Colton hit a chop to one of them, and then there was a 310 to Yuma for the win. The Guns cut a quick promo after the match, talking about how MJF's not a generational talent, because he's telling all these sob stories, and generational talents don't get told no, and like they are, and they mentioned like LeBron or something. They said they've been doing this for 3 years no stop. They're gonna be new ROH tag champs. Austin says Max is embarrassment of those titles. He's only defended them once. They sign off the Guns up, and then we cut to MJF watching the monitor. Joe walks up behind him, and so just kind of teasing that again, which I liked.
Me too. Yeah, the match. It was so fast that the commentary I noted were still talking about Samoa Joe from the previous match when the match was over. This one, so I don't know. Like maybe because I'm not loving MJF being stretched in so many directions, but maybe the story is that that's what catches up with him, and I don't know. I don't think he's gonna lose the
I
title
don't think
anytime
he's
soon, but
losing to Switchblade, but I'm ever hopeful because I love him.
and you could work that it's not that MJF isn't on that level, but that he's got too many things going on, and maybe somebody gets
I think
involved.
that's a
Or
good way to go, especially with I like that Bullet Club Gold's targeting multiple things. I mean, unfortunately, my boy Juice got robbed,
yeah,
but um,
it's possible, right? And I don't know. I do like the 310 to Yuma. I said
I do
because
like
I
it. Yeah,
do like it.
it's very nice. I could see the Guns maybe winning the titles, but I imagine Samoa Joe will probably prevent that.
Yeah,
But then again, I don't know.
I thought
Maybe that's the next goal he'll have is the ROH tag titles.
I thought their promo after this match was kind of generic. Nothing
No, it was
amazing. It
pretty
wasn't
straightforward,
terrible,
but
but
I think even though this wasn't their best promo, I think it's just like you gotta appreciate how they've come a long way. I think
yeah,
this year, I started out the year not liking them, and the only thing we liked was the After Our Funeral segment, which I recently rewatched. It's still good,
hmm
which was our turning point for sure, or beginning of it at least. But they've definitely come a long way. Like even this is like I don't hate it, right? And I still like them because I think they're pretty entertaining in general. So even this is miles ahead of how they used to be. So that's always worth noting.
correct.
Just that's a big turnaround for in our history. I really hope they do go with Joe teaming with MJF because that's the best way to go. And the Guns don't deserve a 2-on-1 loss, which again is not something I would have
No, they
said at the
don't.
beginning of the
I don't.
year.
Almost nobody deserves that.
No,
I feel
I
like it's
think
really
Guns could probably take it
debilitating.
better than most just because they kind of got the Dominic Mysterio thing going.
Yeah,
But nonetheless, I don't think I'd want them to take that. Mostly just because I actually like them now, which again is a weird thing to say, isn't
hmm
it? Next we got a Moxley promo, which is always a treat. He talks about Orange Cassidy saying he doesn't deserve to make it to Full Gear. He said Cassidy knew what he was doing when he swooped in and took his shot. You can't let it slide, and he has to make an example for Yuta. Moxley said the man landed in LA, it's gang warfare, and I think next week it's Moxley and Yuta against Hook and Cassidy.
Makes sense.
I believe. Gang warfare reminds me of, I think, what was it, Survivor Series 97, when they had like gang rules. There was like Nation of Domination and not Aces and Eights. What?
Wow.
No, what is it? Disciples of Apocalypse. That's
DOA,
what it is.
yeah.
That's what it was. And there's Los Boricuas and whatever. I get Los Boricuas is weird because no one remembers anyone but Savio Vega.
Yeah, I could picture a couple of them, but
I just pictured multiple Savio Vegas.
oh my God, who was the guy that
It's
was
like
there
Miguel
for, I think?
Perez or something.
Yeah, he was
Something
one.
like that. I don't. Why? The only Aces and Eights that are notable was it wasn't a Crush, and I swear the Harris twins were in that.
They were.
swear it had to be the Harris twins.
Wes Briscoe and Bischoff's kid.
No, that's Aces and Eights.
Oh, sorry. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about DOA.
DOA still? Sorry. Oh, they were. They
Because
were.
they're basically
DOA started out as the Harris brothers.
and then Crush,
yeah.
Demolition Crush.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to this. That's a weird digression. How often do you think Crush gets mentioned on a podcast?
Not often.
Let alone DOA. Crush was in Nation too. What the hell? Just I don't understand. Moxley issued a warning to Hook to please take notes if his fingers still work, which I thought was kind of funny. If that's like a threat for next week, like his fingers won't work. I don't know. That was kind of funny. And just like what Moxley was talking about, I thought it'd be interesting if Hook joined Blackpool. I don't want him to, cause like, but like
You
in a
kinda
way
fit.
it fits,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't want him to, but just like it kind of like it was like an interesting little like what if.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yuta introduced a warning to Hook saying he had come across the wrong crew, and he said he'll see him in Cali, pretty boy, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, we talked about it in the moment, and I think Moxley's amazing, partly because I feel like he actually thinks about the feud he's in, and he sees like, okay, what's the hole in this plot? And this one was maybe like, why is Moxley so bent out of shape at Cassidy? Cassidy didn't actually do anything other than like take an opportunity and win, but Mox is like, I think you knew exactly what you were doing, and even if not, like, this is the kind of guy I am, right? You've got the belt that I won, and I don't really care, and I have to set an example to my young boy, basically, that you don't get away with this, and we just have to destroy you now. And I like that he kind of closed up that hole, because it's there a little bit, and but he does it in a way to still put Orange Cassidy over.
Except
Like
he
never
always
disappoints.
been excellent. Yeah, Moxley is just
It's
fantastic.
like he thinks about stuff and sees how
He's
actual
actually
fans
conscious of
view
things,
it
yeah.
and like feeds into that.
He's actually got a mind for the business.
I think
whatever,
so.
Yeah.
So I really like.
Yeah,
it.
Mox is just fantastic. Again, he elevates the build whenever he speaks, so that's great. He elevates Cassidy as well. He makes it feel big. His motivations here are clear and logical. I like that. It makes perfect sense, but it's kind of a heel logic way to go about it as well. But like a real person could share his perspective, like I was saying with the Bucks. So I like that because he had a match to get back a title that he lost when he was taken out, which like he kind of got injured and lost, so it wasn't entirely his fault. And then he had an opportunity to get it back, and obviously he couldn't because he was still, we'll say, ill. But then in his eyes, he got taken out, and OC swooped in and stole from him. So I like that. With how he and Blackpool operate, it makes sense that he would not only let it slide or not let it slide, but like that he's setting an example for Yuta as well, and then he's gonna go after him. So I like that. Moxley's amazing. Nobody can say otherwise.
Agree.
This is great. Then we go to Wardlow. He hates MJF. He talks about when he worked for MJF. He wants revenge on MJF.
He has a sledgehammer.
He had a sledgehammer.
My notes are he said things and did things. He hates NJF. I don't care.
Yep. I could not care less for something that should be super personal and interesting. I don't give a crap.
Nope. Agreed.
Then we get Red Velvet versus Julia Hart. And I said, because this is what I wanted after Wardlow. I forgot what the women's match was, and I groaned when I remembered.
This is your women's match.
This.
Right here.
Decent single leg dropkick from Velvet, but there
was
was like a really slow wheelbarrow bulldog, which is lame. Yeah, rode slow motion. And then there's like a crummy slow super kick from Hart that Velvet sold as if it was an Adam Cole super kick.
She sold it well.
Yeah.
And she wore an apron to the ring.
Yeah. Get it? Because like Red Velvet's something you'd make food with.
I guess.
And
well, it is food.
Exactly. And then see, stir it up is funny because you didn't really get this before, so I'll explain it again. It's like you put things in a bowl and you stir it with the
That's right.
spoon. So then you do this. People can't see my stirring motion, but this is very
Solid.
accurate.
That's good.
It's like you do it in a circular motion. Yeah.
Yep.
Then a moonsault from Hart for the win. She locks in her Heartless submission post match. It's like a crappier version of the Rings of Saturn. Like
Mhm.
Pac does it fantastically, and here Julia Hart is disrespecting him. Like, no. Sky Blue arrives for the stare down. That made me care about this. Not. Willow and Statlander come down and someone loudly shouts "alien."
Amazing.
When she's
We
like,
laughed really hard.
She comes out in the ring and someone's just like "alien."
Yeah. But they will not let her forget that gimmick. I appreciate it.
It was so funny.
It was really
It
funny.
was like that one time in the MJF Joe segment where
Yes.
that one person yells out. It's just audible enough
It's
to
perfect.
be funny. It's just like this one wasn't quite as good, but it's still really funny. So just like it's when it catches you off guard like that. It was really funny. Then Hart laughed after that. That was awesome because it's just like you never expect it. It's awesome.
Nothing wrong with this match. Nothing memorable either, I don't think. Am I allowed to say this? I could going to. I think Red Velvet has added some size since coming off her injury, because I would say that about a male wrestler, right? So I feel I should be the same. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, because I think it makes her offense look more impactful, because before she was just so tiny, sometimes it was hard to, it was entering into like Riho territory for me. But I think she looks a little bit bigger and it looked more impactful. So I thought
I
that was good.
honestly didn't notice the difference whatsoever, and I still don't care about
But
her.
where is the story going with these people involved? And is there anywhere it can go that I'm interested in? Again, they're trying to
The
do
first
stuff with women, so I'm happy
The
about
answer to the
that.
first part of that is I don't know, and the second part is no.
I
I
don't
don't think it'll be interesting.
like. I'm happy there's more than just one group of women getting stories about them, but I don't know if the story's good. I
So-
guess I'll say.
Julia Hart misted Sky Blue. Sky Blue started slowly painting her face different to make Julia Hart think that she was joining her. She misted Julia Hart last week, and now she's still teasing Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then Willow's not affected by mist, and Statlander's not an alien.
No, it's that. I don't know. Yeah,
I
they're
don't-
just.
It's like are they even trying? I don't.
It feels like they just kind of went, here's the women we'd like to get on TV, and go. And then they just.
The nicest thing I can
Not a
say
lot of
about it
thought
is that
put
there's
into
no outcast in this one.
That's correct. That's what
So-
I mean. They've moved on from that, at least, and there's women getting time in separate storylines,
Yeah.
which doesn't happen often.
Which is better.
So that's something. We're trying really hard to say something positive, I guess.
Mediocre as expected. No, I was not interested in whatsoever. Nothing more to say. My legitimate favorite part of this was that fan shouting "alien" at Statlander.
It was very funny.
Like-
Very funny.
I love that so much. I just like we need more stuff like this. It's too good. We rewind those every time. 'Cause it's just,
Absolutely.
it's
A couple
so
times
funny.
usually.
Oh, it's so funny. Then we get RJ City interviewing Mariah May.
I had never heard of this person, I don't think.
know who
Unless
this
maybe
is.
like if she was on the 250 list or something, maybe like in passing, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, so RJ City announced that she's signed. She talks about wrestling all over the world. She came from Stardom. So just like Stardom's the Japanese promotion, but just to be clear, she's white. I don't know
Right.
where she's from, but just to be
And
clear, she's
blonde.
very white. She's white blonde. So just to clarify
Yeah.
for those who haven't seen her. She said she's a big fan of his work with Storm, and she said she went to Storm because she did, and now Storm's here and she's here because Storm's here. So we're establishing she's a fan, I guess.
Big time.
RJ says he can introduce him next week, so there's a quote-unquote hook, I guess. This is fine. It's incredibly random. Not sure how to feel about this, but I guess having a fan of Source could add to Storm's character, but I don't know because her thing's weird, so I guess we'll see how it goes. Stratus James Light.
I was immediately thought of Trish Stratus and Mickey James, and really hoping that they go that route, because that story was amazing. Remember, this is when I was typing my note and I put, please do a Mickey James / Trish Stratus thing, and it auto-corrected to Trish Stratus thong. Like somehow in the algorithm, it's more likely that I want to put thong after Trish Stratus's name than thing.
I mean, in that era,
Which
yeah.
I thought was pretty funny. But anyway, she does seem to have some charisma, and I actually went out and looked up some highlights, and she looks like she can wrestle. So
I know nothing about her, but I'll give this a chance.
I'm leaning towards optimistic, right? So, but we'll see, right?
I am optimistic.
But I'm always interested. I love when I've never heard of someone, because we're pretty big wrestling nerds, and I even watch more like small time indie stuff than you do. and I'm always
I mean,
impressed when someone I don't know comes around.
I know it's not on the
So-
same level, but we never heard of Walter, so
Correct. I'd heard, and then I started hearing of him and still hadn't seen him, and then fell in love with him because he's awesome.
yeah,
But anyways, I'm hopeful this wasn't a bad first appearance for her. So.
no, it's just confusing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Then we got our main event, which is J.A. White versus Mark Briscoe for the AEW World Title.
Yep.
Just kidding. I guess it
Not really.
could be an eliminator of sorts, but not really.
No.
I saw someone point out though that was kind of sad that we don't have an eliminator tournament this year.
Oh yeah.
Usually they do that in the build up to Full Gear in the finals, which kind of sucks. 'Cause I always like that. Like the first eliminator was Omega beat Hangman in the finals, then he beat Moxley for the title. Like that was sick. Then the second eliminator was the one that Danielson won, remember? And then he had the heel turn against Hangman. Then Starks did the one last year, which was okay. Which they finished on Dynamite because, and that was the last great thing Ethan Page ever did was lose that tournament.
Yeah.
It's also the last thing I remember Bandito doing.
He's been gone a while. Both of them have now.
Actually, no. Bandito faced Cassie later. So Ethan Page is on ROH. So I think he's feuding with Tony Nese. So that's how things are going.
Exactly.
Yep. There's a nice DDT from White. I like the part where he had sent Briscoe to the outside. He acted like he was gonna do like a slingshot move to the outside, but then he feigns a knee injury. I just like how he just like went back on it, and then Bullet Club Gold jumped Briscoe. So I like that from Bullet Club Gold. Shotgun dropkick from the middle row from Briscoe. There's a chop exchange. A really nice fisherman buster from Briscoe for 2.
Yes.
Death Valley driver and a froggy bow for a near fall from Briscoe. Really nice Uranagi from White. I really like the way he does
always
it.
looks good.
It's awesome. He had a Kiwi Crusher for 2, which was really nice. It was like a kind of leg hook into a Falcon Arrow, which was really nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Kind of a cross-legged Falcon Arrow, or a Michinoku, as some might say. It's not a Michinoku.
No.
White hit this nice, it was like a straight jacket brainbuster looking thing, followed by a Blade Runner for the win. MJF's music hits, and he comes from behind to take out Juice and the Guns. Then he puts on the ring as he stares down White, but White runs off. MJF says he hopes White has fun playing dress up as top guy because playtime's almost over, and he'll have to get in the ring with the real world champion and a generational talent. He says White will have to kill him to take the title. He's fighting for everybody, including the fans and Cole. Then we cut to backstage, and those masked men that were with the devil mask guy, basically Jay White's assailants from a few weeks back.
They look big.
Attack the Acclaimed. I swear to God, if it's Trench again,
so now
it's not. But I swear,
everybody that's helped MJF is getting taken out.
Jay White is against MJF, so it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Bowens got thrown through a window, which is pretty nice.
And that's what I thought, because commentary Excalibur went out of his way to say that. Like, everyone that helps MJF is getting taken out. And that's why I was like, what did he just say? And is that the case?
Cole got taken out by himself.
Right.
And
that's why I was like, remember I rewound and went,
true,
what did he say?
I guess that's technically true. And then we got to the same devil mask shot we've seen previously. He wasn't actually in the attack. And this looked like the same footage we've seen previously. Like, as if it's like a sign-off rather than... we're cutting
a fresh thing.
Yeah, it's not like we're cutting to seeing the devil mask. It feels like a sign off kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I like that because, and I'll talk about this again when we talk about everything, but it leaves it open for it to still be MJF because the devil mask guy was not actually physically present.
Right.
When Jay White got beat up, he was there, right? It was like the 4 guys or so, and he was there. This time it was just these guys being up the Acclaimed, and then we cut to the mask after, which again could be just stock footage or whatever, right? So I like that. Then MJ runs to the back to check on them, and Joe walks in saying Max is low on friends now, and he kind of laughs it off.
I like that
so
too.
I like that. Joe's keeping his head in the game. So
well, it could be Joe.
Could be.
I guess.
I don't think Devil Mask is that big.
No, maybe not. I really like this main event. It suffered obviously a bit again from one possible outcome, but some competitive, high impact stuff. Both these guys are really talented veterans, and I think I'd be okay if MJF lost to Jay White.
I would be more than okay.
MJF has so much other stuff going on. I doubt it happens, but it possibly could.
I'm never hopeful.
Yeah, I really like Joe being that lasting final image there. And the throw through the window looked good, right? So
that was a nice, clean, just glass break.
Yeah, I thought the match was good. Not like a top tier main event, but very enjoyable, I thought, and a quality win for Jay White as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Briscoe's like he's still got something in him, right? I
Yep,
think he's
for
like.
sure.
I don't think he's the best, but I think he's like pretty good. Look, when I say not the best, it sounds mean, but I'm not meaning like like, I don't know what I don't know.
Derogatory.
Thank you. Derogatory way. I think like he's pretty good. So I like him. Solid main event. Yeah, it does suck. We know who's gonna win, but I don't mind seeing Briscoe here and there. So I thought he delivered well. White Stellar is always he's a good comeback opponent for Briscoe because he's just a great hand in the ring. He's great all around. Nice moves from Briscoe. Solid near fall on the Froggy Bow.
It
I
was.
really like the finishing pair of moves. White hit. I thought that unique brainbuster was really cool. Post match was enjoyable as well. I thought MJF cut a solid promo. I like that enough. I thought this silence taking the acclaim was an interesting wrinkle in this whole story because I like that. It honestly makes things more confusing now because it's like they were first attacking MJF's like enemies, so
Mm-hmm.
now it's like they're helping MJF, but now they're taking out his friends. So it's like I feel like it's meant to make you think that this is not orchestrated by NJF because why would he take out the acclaimed? But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some way you could construe it to be NJF, like he's taking out all these people to help him because he's like a scumbag because he doesn't like them deep down. Because on Collision he was saying he's starting to like them, but maybe it's like he doesn't like them and he's trying to keep maybe because wasn't he saying the other week like he's like maybe you can't have more than one friend
Yes.
and maybe he's not meaning that like
Yeah.
he's taking out everybody just to keep because he's maybe that's why he's not teaming with Joe. He's adamant well because obviously it's Samoa Joe, but obviously
Yeah.
also just because he doesn't want to team with him, he doesn't want to team with Roddy. He's taking out the acclaimed. He just wants Adam Cole maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. I feel like there's definitely still some way that this could be MJF
There
because
is.
they're keeping it very ambiguous right now.
Yeah. Maybe it's like WWE where they don't even know the end yet because
I
they're
trust
famous for
I trust
that.
them more.
Me too. So overall, I thought this was a better show this week. 3 solid matches. I quite enjoyed the main event. Like the opener and then the Keith Lee Samoa Joe, I thought was pretty solid too. And there were more segments I liked this week than there have been in the past couple, right? So Bullet Club Gold was entertaining. The Elite stuff was kind of entertaining. I thought this was a solid B this week and an improvement over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, nothing like horribly offensive.
Still not a top shelf show, but on our way
Nice.
on our way back, hopefully.
Top shelf. Yeah, I thought it was a solid show as well. Definitely a pickup. I think we're not in the banner range quite yet, but I think we're getting there, and I think it's all. Hopefully, we get a good go home next week, and that delivers. I think we got like at least a couple matches that should be good. We got
Yeah.
the Blackpool thing, and then there's just the Sega Street fight.
Right.
Just call it that. That rolls out the tongue way easier. But I thought the opener was pretty solid. I enjoyed that. Swerve Penta was pretty nice. TV title match was pretty good as well, and I thought the main event was really nice. Probably my favorite. Segment wise, as I'm looking back through it, I thought Sheeta and Storm was fine. MJF's opening bit was fine. I thought Omega Jericho and the Bucks were pretty solid. The Sega sponsor was whatever. Wardlow, I could not care less. The women's match I forgot to mention was whatever, nothing really that great, and the Guns had a squash. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid show, but nothing amazing. So I think a B is fair. It's pretty average Dynamite, but that's better.
A little bit of a rebound, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's shift gears. Next segment, we're going to tackle some trivia. We call it Off the Top of His Head. All right, I went with more AI trivia. We're coming up on Survivor Series at some point. So I went with, and it interpreted it as actual Survivor Series matches. So I asked for the best Survivor Series matches, 12 of them, memorable, with brief descriptions of the stories leading into each one, because I like to make them describe things because they're pretty vague sometimes. Okay, so number 12. So it's the actual Survivor team matches type things. See, I feel like you'll probably do well, but I would not. 2016. You know?
Probably.
Go ahead.
Is it men's?
I believe so. So go ahead.
Was it team? It would be Raw and SmackDown.
Correct.
Right? SmackDown would be. Am I just going with people here?
Well, mine just I don't have even the whole teams. I just have who is the captain of Team SmackDown. I have
Probably AJ.
no. Well, not according to them, anyways.
Shane.
Yes, and Raw.
Owens and Jericho.
No, not according to them again. They said Triple H. But anyways,
Triple H wasn't even in that match.
what was the story?
Raw versus SmackDown.
Because they're saying the shocking conclusion saw Triple H betraying his own team.
That was 2017.
Nice. There we go. Showcase you get your knowledge for sure. Survivor Series 2012. 2 stars captain opposing teams with a Money in the Bank contract on the line.
No.
No?
There's no way.
They're saying Ziggler versus Foley.
That sounds right, but I don't think the contract was on the line.
2012. How about 2005 is the other one? Brand Warfare.
Would that just be Raw and SmackDown? Like,
It was highlighted by the emotional return of somebody to help Team SmackDown. They're
Matt
saying
Hardy?
no. Undertaker.
It doesn't say anything with the briefcase. Oh, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Oh,
It
Matt
does.
Hardy, yeah, I think he got because he got out of taking a chokeslam or something.
Oh, so this is a singles match. Survivor Series 2002. They're not all team matches.
Okay.
Mark the return of somebody to active competition
Scott
after
Steiner?
a 4-year hiatus. I feel like they're really wrong because if this were right, you would know it. Friendship turned rivalry between these two, leading to a heated showdown. 2002.
Big Show Lesnar?
No.
Trish Stratus Victoria match that we saw with the snap.
No,
suplex?
men's. They're saying Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
No.
Why?
They were in the chamber match, the first chamber match on that show.
Good. There you go. See?
With RVD, Booker, Jericho, and Kane.
Survivor Series 2001.
Was that Alliance and
Yes.
WWF?
Yes. WWF led by.
Probably Vince. Well, no, Vince was Brock or Angle.
They said Austin.
WWF or the Alliance?
WWF.
Austin was on the Alliance.
Amazing.
I think Alliance was.
It literally says Team WWF. Oh, yeah. They switched him over.
Yeah, because Alliance was him, Angle, Booker,
I remember
RVD, and I think Shane. I think WWF would have been Rock, Taker, Kane, Big Show, and I don't know who else. I'm missing one, but
yeah.
no, Austin was on the Alliance which made more sense than Angle because Angle had nothing to do with WCW ever, but Austin was at least in WCW and ECW before.
Right. In Angle, he'd only been in WWE forever, or WWF at that time, probably. Okay, Survivor Series 1998, a singles match.
Rock, Mankind. That was the one with the tournament.
Hey, yes, keep going.
Rock,
so what was the tournament?
Deadly Game.
Deadly Game is correct, and it was for what?
The title.
Good, and you got it, Rock. And how they're saying there was some sort of surprising twist for The Rock.
A year after the screw job, they redid the screw job.
And he was siding with Vince McMahon here,
yeah,
right?
That was his heel turn.
That's right. Survivor Series 1996, and this one is a team one. Stems from one man's issues with his teammates, particularly, I guess, this person who ended up... What? So they're saying issues with teammates, particularly this person who is also the captain of the other team. So I don't think their description's very good. Big man, captain, and then an all-time great.
Mabel?
No. Psycho Sid. Well, Sid and Shawn Michaels. Don't know.
No.
No? Not 96?
They had a title match. Sid won the title from Shawn here, then Shawn won it back at the 97 Rumble.
Nice.
So, no.
Survivor Series 92. Singles match. Beginning of a legendary rivalry.
Shawn and Brett?
Yes.
I think that's right.
That's right? Nice.
I think so.
Survivor Series 91. Teams.
Flair and Piper.
Correct. Very good.
I think that was the one where I think everyone got counted out. Or, no, I think everyone got DQ'd except for Flair, and he ended up winning.
I don't remember this one. 1990 team match.
Hogan and someone.
No.
Oh, $1 Million Team and Dusty's team?
No.
Damn
this one
it.
says,
That was a
although maybe
surefire
you're
one.
right. Who knows? Ongoing feud culminating in one accidentally hitting his teammate with loaded cologne.
Something
in the 90s.
Something with Rick Martel.
Correct. He was one captain, and one of his bigger feuds was the other
Santana?
captain, Jake the Snake.
That makes sense.
Visionaries versus the Vipers. 1988. Looks like
Andre and Hogan?
a tag team match.
What?
They're
Like
saying
a normal one, or
yeah, it looks like it.
like probably Heart Foundation and
No. Mega
First Bulldog?
Powers in 88 versus
That sounds right. What would it be, like Cross Connection?
Twin Towers.
Damn it.
Close.
That
Big
sounds
two
right.
monsters.
I feel like was the first Survivor Series 87, because then maybe I'm tripping.
So that's number one. The first main event, the first Survivor.
That would be Hogan and Andre.
Correct.
Right? Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
That was
makes
number
sense.
one.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yep, you got it. What are you looking up? 98, 88?
Yeah, I think that's right though, because I was thinking 87 for that one, but
So it's Akeem and Bossman, Twin
Yeah.
Towers.
which is a totally logical team.
All right. Well, are you fact checking that? No, I can move on.
I know. I think we're okay.
Okay. So that will bring us into. Do you have figuring it out this week?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it will end up being our final segment where we revisit the week of wrestling and just quickly highlight and lowlight some stuff. We call it Highspots and Restholds. All right, so you said nothing caught your eye on Raw this week.
No, I mean it's only been the millionth week of Judgment Day. So other than they announced, I guess I can mention briefly they announced War Games
Right.
for this year, which is surprise, surprise, Cody and other people against Judgment Day. It's Cody, Rollins, Sammy and Jay
Mhm.
against Judgment Day and JD McDonough, aka JD and JD, which I guess means no world title matches for Survivor Series.
Right. Finish
which
the
is-
story, Cody.
Yeah. And yep. Yes,
Okay, so I'll start off with some
I
NXT.
guess the story is because Dusty invented War Games. There's another story finish that's not the main one.
That's
First the tag
correct.
titles, and now this.
I thought
But-
the opening match, the Heritage Cup Championship, was pretty good. Noam Dar and Akira Tozawa. This obviously stemmed from the haunted house, blah, blah, blah.
That's the beginning of every great wrestling.
And then
feud.
Dar pointed out that Tozawa didn't even win a match
Yeah.
in the tournament, right?
Negating the necessity for this match.
I really
Wow.
like Metaphor's entrance. I think it's cool
I
and looks
do
kind
like
of big
yes,
time.
I remember you showed me. I actually do quite enjoy it.
They look kind of important.
and the theme's nice too. Dar's theme is
is.
pretty good. I always will enjoy his first theme more, but it's pretty solid.
So it's Heritage Cup, so we got the rounds, which I like this style of match, but
It doesn't work as well on TV.
televised, it rears its ugly head here in round 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll get to that. So we get standard kind of holds and counters a little bit in round 1. Dar's really good technically. Tozawa's no slouch either, so that goes pretty well. We get Dar begins his sort of methodical attack on Tozawa's leg here in round 1, and Dar hits a superplex right as the round ends. Maybe it was like half a second after, but I think it was pretty much right as it ended.
Not as good as the sneak back elbow.
Round 2, Dar takes the lead. He gets a pinfall by holding Tozawa's tights because he's a horrible cheater. And then he also punches Tozawa in the head after the bell. I love it because it's almost like Los Ingobernables, right? When it was Roosh with the champion. Like, go ahead, DQ me then. Then this challenger doesn't get because I think that applies to
Speaking
the
of
cup.
LFI, I'm not sure what's up with them because they kind of came back and I thought they were babyface, but now I'm not sure if they are.
It can't be baby. It's hard.
No,
for
but
them to be
like,
babyface.
yeah, I know, and now it's like, but then they were talking about after like their heels, and like, I honestly don't. It's not paying attention to Collision really hurts me sometimes.
I know.
I need to try, but I can't.
So round 3, as we talked about, happens during a commercial, and in Canada we don't get picture-in-picture on NXT, so I have no chance to watch it. We do come back just as Dar is hitting elbows, not his back elbow, unfortunately, to Tozawa after the bell. So again, like, yep, I'm doing this after the bell. All you can do is DQ me,
And he's got a sweet ass elbow.
so you either have to let me keep doing it or DQ me, and either way, it doesn't hurt me. So I kind of like
and
that.
Dar's a good, great kind of heel to do that. So
Exactly.
it makes sense for him.
Round 4, Dar's outside on the floor and ends up kicking the post really hard. Actually looked good. Back in the ring, Tozawa applies an ankle lock and Dar taps out. I would have had him tap out probably quicker to save himself because commentary even like, will he do it? And he did. So not super quick, but he did tap out. Round 5, pace picks up because the challenger has to get desperate in these final rounds, right? Dar hits his back elbow, looked great for a near fall. We get a really nice flurry from Tozawa here, ending in a German suplex and a kick. And then Mensa, I think, was on the apron causing a distraction. Lash Legend pulls Dar out of the ring. I don't know what Mensa was going to do up top, maybe for something. Tozawa. He misses his senton, and then it's a Nova roller, and Dar wins, picks up the pinfall after about 14 minutes. So I like this. Dar's awesome in the ring, and this style of match suits him perfectly. He also, his cheating is great. Some of it he does secretly, like holding the tights and distractions with partners doing stuff. And then, like I said, some of it's right in front
Like
of the
the cheap
referee.
shots.
So I like it. And Tozawa's another wasted talent, right? Like, he's a good wrestler,
So that was
but
pretty good, yeah.
he is good. And I mean, he's cashing WWE checks for years and years, so good for him. But he's
But
now stuck
still,
in
yeah.
comedy sidekick
I
mode,
actually,
right?
it was weird. I just came across like a video on Instagram that was like talking about his underdog story in Dragon Gate. That's what it was.
Yeah, he's good, man.
And I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
I like his senton. It's really simple, but
Senton's
it
pretty
looks
good, yeah.
cool.
He had a really nice snap German in the CWC.
Yeah, he's good. Mick Foley, just because it's notable. Actually, do you want to look up if there's specifically what it was? Because I didn't make note. Mick Foley on Instagram, little video announcing the NXT Deadline Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying matches. But then I didn't make a list of what those are if they've been announced.
I'll try.
So Iron Survivor qualifying matches. Then we get Lyra Valkyria with an in-ring segment. She's thanking the fans, talking how much Becky Lynch, like, they say never meet your heroes, blah, 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 but her hero's amazing, etc., etc. Xia Li interrupts. She's basically tired of being overlooked and not getting opportunities. And then I even showed you this. She kicks the head off one of the security guards. She does like a spinning back kick, and it looked amazing. I'm fine with her being back in NXT because I felt she left too early. So she's one of those like less experienced talents that I'm fine with her coming back down and wrestling some more down here. So hopefully she gets a bit of time in NXT. I obviously don't think she's beating Lyra at this point, but I'm fine with having Xia. Then we get an Iron Survivor qualifying match.
I think the ones that Mick Foley made were the ones that
were on this week.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm reading here.
And so this first one is for the women's side. It's Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley. In the news, we talked about Henley picking up a possible concussion on the finish in this one because I didn't notice anything in the match. I actually thought it was pretty solid. Fallon Henley, I've always thought, has good fire, right? Like, she has good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a bit more experience now. She's been there, a couple years at least, it feels like now.
Yeah, I think she was pretty early in the 2.0
I think so, too.
I don't know.
And so they had a pretty good 11-minute match. We get, it was Stratton's second attempt at the prettiest moonsault ever. She hit a chop block leading into it and then picks up the win as expected. One spot I think it was this match was really cool. I'm almost positive. She caught the crossbody rolled through and picked her up. When you hit the crossbody and the person that took it rolls and so she just picks her up and just walks over to the ropes and just dumps her like through the second and third rope onto the floor. It looked really cool. She also, Stratton, it seems she's added a sit-out spine buster as well. She seems to keep adding things as we go, which is what you should do.
Expand the moveset.
Dijak did cut a promo about his Iron Survivor qualifying match with Tyler Bate later in the show, and it wasn't very good, but honestly not as bad as some stuff he does. It's the glasses, it's the wardrobe and the way he talks. It's too much.
Like cartoony almost.
Yes, very. That is it. We get Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner. Obviously, just a big man. I think it was only 6 minutes. At one point, Vaughn starts staggering around like he's suffering from concussion symptoms or something mid-match.
If you can't do a seizure cell, you shouldn't be doing concussion
He has
cells.
a scar. Well, the guy couldn't walk 2 weeks ago. He relearned to walk and now is back in the ring. He's a marvel of modern medicine.
Exactly.
And he has a scar on his head now that's displayed. So Braun obviously wins this 6 minutes with a spear after Vaughn sort of sacrificed himself out on the floor to save Robert Stone and took a spear on the floor too. But as you would expect, Vaughn got his moment and put Breaker through the table again. And in his happiness, Vaughn hugs Mr. Stone, which is like just validating for Robert Stone because he's gotten Vaughn to open up and hug him. So I think this is like the culmination of this thing with Braun, I guess.
That's cute.
Match itself wasn't great, just a short big man match. Did not enjoy Roxanne Perez and Kalani Jordan taking on Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez very much. Babyfaces win. Jordan gets kind of her payback and hits a split-legged moonsault, but it was to Lopez, not Vice. just kind of basic, not a very long match, kind of slow to start. My favorite part was Ariana Grace because I'm kind of enjoying her like delusional beauty queen, but a heel character. So she was sitting on a throne watching from the ramp, and after the match, Petrovich, first name Carmen? Cart? Anyways,
I feel like you're right, but honestly, I don't know.
she attacked Santino's daughter, whose name Ariana Grace, attacked her. So I guess that's where that's going. Joe Gacy cuts another promo saying that people called him the weird guy and a maniac. He feels like in his own personal hell, doesn't know what to do, but maybe he knows what to do. So again, they're just kind of like, we are resetting this guy. He will be different, but we're not telling you how different yet. So whatever, I'll give him a chance.
Different but the same.
Some more D-list main roster. Otis took on Drew Gulak. Otis wins a forgettable match with a power bomb in about 4 minutes. Nothing there that interests me. Drew Gulak deserves better, I feel like, but that's his spot now.
Yeah.
Is your good hand.
I saw like some posts about him and I was like, I forgot he was cruiserweight champion for a bit
Yeah,
in NXT.
He's good. He's actually good.
Gulak's pretty good, yeah.
Kiana James and Stratton are interacting. Have a heel chat backstage and are in agreement about how great they each are and how whoever they're feuding with is in the wrong until the Iron Survivor Challenge comes up, because they both are going to win that, obviously. More interesting to me, and I don't really know why, is Boa's in the background again with someone else, and they have like, I think
Dante Chen, maybe?
I think they both had face paint on.
Dante Chen. I've heard that they're kind of a team now.
And you're clearly supposed to notice them, so I was interested to see where they're going. Chase U vignette. So again, this took another little turn. It's JC Jane is in the classroom. Someone delivers an envelope for Andre Chase. JC Jane opens it, looks in it, and it clearly holds photographs, I think it is, that she's shocked to see. Jace catches her looking at his mail. He looks at it, and it's now like somehow it seems to be they're communicating that she knows some deep dark secret about him. And then Hale and Hudson come in, so he's hiding the photo. He dismisses the class to send them away. So it's almost like it almost looks like JC Jane now has leverage that she can make him cheat, because you know how she wants him to cheat and he won't cheat. So I feel like that's where they're going, and I am a little curious, and I feel like they keep finding interesting stuff for Andre Chase's little group to do, so I'm okay with it. What else happened? Oh, the only other thing I wanted to mention was the main event was really good. It was Dijak and Tyler Bate. And they're both really good, so it's about what you expect. In this one, Dijak caught a crossbody on the floor and threw Bate. You know how there's like the padded barricade and then kind of the railing before the crowd? He kind of threw him over the barricade into that railing. Right,
because when they're in 2.0, they're like the clear barricade. That's kind of like over top. Yeah.
Yes. We got a fisherman superplex, I think only second rope by Tyler Bate. A crazy long airplane spin of a very large man on his shoulders.
Big strong boy.
Dijak flips out of a superplex attempt, which looks pretty impressive, and then lands, I don't know if it was discus boot or probably was. Anyways, eventually he hits the Feast Your Eyes, which also looked really good. And Dijak picks up the win after 10 minutes. He's the first one to qualify in the Iron Survivor. I thought a really good match. I could have even used another 3 to 5 minutes probably. Neither of them disappoint in the ring. Competitive match where I actually wasn't sure who was winning, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, Dijak's in the tournament, or in the match, first one. Impact quickly. You saw a bit of it with me. I liked the opening match. It was Tasha Steelz, Deonna Purrazzo. Pretty good back and forth with Steelz winning clean. Go ahead.
With an RKO.
No, but even
like actually the whole shebang. Like I swear to God, she did the whole Randy Orton wind up and then like an RKO. Like not just doing it kind of like
she's doing the Randy Orton
like, and then she just straight up did it kind of like, you can't do that. What are you doing? Like
it was a full on stealing.
I was like, what the hell is happening? It was super strange. I don't understand.
I was kind of surprised by the super clean finish, but apparently I don't know if I knew this, that Purrazzo's rumored to be on her way out.
I think I heard that.
I don't know if we talked about this.
I don't remember, but I don't.
So that makes
sense.
I
heard that. I do remember.
Because I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
Crazy Steve and Dreamer had a digital media championship match where Steve was bleeding pretty early on. Crazy Steve introduces a fork. Dreamer ends up biting him to stop that. Dreamer hits a cutter, but he can't resist using the fork, so he stabs Steve in the head and gets disqualified. So Steve retains.
No, he
Seven-
retain. He wouldn't he retain?
Steve retains.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't he have the or?
Dreamer has the title.
Oh, sorry.
Wishful thinking.
Right. Nothing great. I have trouble enjoying Tommy Dreamer in 2023, but you guys know that if you listen to this show. Myers and Hendry had a solid match. Hendry's a believable powerhouse in Impact. Not sure if it'd work anywhere else, right? Because he's not he's
Right.
big by Impact standards.
Yeah.
We got eye gouge roster cut. Myers wins. Solid match. Ospreay really good promo on Josh Alexander. Like he's got such swagger and like backhanded compliments because he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea who Josh Alexander was, but I do my homework and you're awesome, right? So it's kind of like you're not really well known, but you are really good. So I thought he sounded great. Eddie Edwards, Eric Young had another solid, unspectacular match. Felt really similar to like Myers Henry, just good stuff. You know what I mean? Alicia hit Eddie by accident with the kendo stick. EY followed up with a pile driver. And what's that?
That's what I heard when you were watching it.
Yes, and it's just like it's more veterans having good TV matches, but like I want fresh faces and fresh matchups, and like the main event was more interesting to me, and we'll get there. Dirty Dango and Prudius, you saw this as well.
Oleg Prudius.
So Dango basically drops off the apron, so it's a handicap match. Prudius just kills the jobbers with some suplexes and whatnot, and then Dango tags in.
His amazing ring gear.
Dango tags in and hits a reverse DDT for the win. He was wearing like camo. The suplexes look pretty good.
It wasn't ring gear. Well, I'll just say that.
The suplexes look good, I guess. I don't know. The main event was really good. Might have been the best match I saw this week on TV, and that was Alex Shelley taking on Jonathan Gresham. Got over 22 minutes, really lengthy. And Gresham's now like, I'm tired of being the guy that wrestles clean and pure. So now he's like low blow, face gouging, choking with wrist tape multiple times. He's targeting Shelley's leg.
Still
not that
teaming
that's
with Bailey
dirty.
or no?
What's that?
Still teaming with Bailey? Or no?
I don't know. They haven't talked about their relationship lately, so I don't know if they're still doing anything. Anyways, lengthy match. Shelley eventually wins with the shell shocked, but really, really good leg targeting by Gresham throughout this. And I think Shelley was targeting arm, maybe. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, Gresham in the main event just feels kind of fresh, right? And he definitely deserves it. He's unbelievable in the ring. Again, a unique talent, like 5'4", but a killing machine, right? So I hope his new cheating character can keep him in a prominent position because he's a guy I'd like to see more of an impact. They don't use him enough, I don't think.
Yeah, even he had
great.
That run in ROH, but he didn't even then he wasn't really like top guy.
They could push him and Jordan Grace. They could be the top of. That'd be cool, like a power couple. That'd be kind of interesting.
Or you could just do Eddie and Alicia. That works too.
No, thank you. The ride or die. Anyways, excellent main event, and again, probably the best match I watched this week. I would actually recommend it. It was fun. All right, man. We still somehow got to 2 hours of this thing. I don't have anything else. Do you?
The only thing I had was, I think...
Oh, SmackDown. That's right. Sorry.
The seemingly heel turn of Escobar. I don't know. It was interesting.
Which I'm happy about.
Because I recently saw, like, a clip from Crown Jewel that, like, someone noticed that, like, in the commotion, the Crown Jewel match, I don't know because we didn't watch it, but they slipped the brass knucks on the apron that Logan Paul used to win that match.
Right.
And then Carlito was accusing him of doing that, which he did, because, like I said, I saw that clip. And then so he was in a Carlito, and I guess somehow got into a conversation with him and Ray. I guess maybe he's mad about Carlito joining up with them. I don't know.
Probably.
And then Ray kind of got in his face and was like, I think he hit him just out of frustration. And so he was like apologizing for that. Then Escobar beat him up, and Selena Vega was crying, whatever. So, but then Escobar kept saying, "You made me do this." So I don't know. There's some weird angle they're working with this. I don't know. It'll be interesting at least.
I hope it elevates him because he's awesome.
Yeah,
and more interesting as a heel.
I hope Legato turn on him because
I
like him with Wild and Cruz del Toro.
Exactly. Raul Mendoza.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up episode 173. Appreciate you joining us, listening to us ramble on about some wrestling. We will definitely be back next week for episode 174, where we'll talk about what we talked about this week some more, and maybe
probably Full Gear,
and preview some Full Gear. So we hope to see you all back here, plus anyone else you want to tell if they like wrestling. And until then, everybody, take care.